and so that's why Cardis was published last year rather than 2018, because I knew obviously that the Kings of Summer was coming out,
yeah,
and I knew, obviously Johnny's book would kind of come out later in the year, and I thought it might be a bit much to have 3 books out in the same year.
Well, if Johnny Bairstow had been at Lord's in the same way that Ireland had allowed Tim Murtagh to be at Lord's, who knows how history may have changed. But that wasn't the case. What fascinated me, and so you live in Yorkshire, and originally you're from, is it from Nottingham?
And I'm originally from the northeast. I'm originally from Newcastle.
Right. Yeah. But then you worked and lived for a long time in Nottingham.
Really, when I was a child. Yes.
So as you're covering the sort of the great climax to that season, and Yorkshire are playing Middlesex, are you seeing it through Yorkshire eyes, or are you seeing it through completely impartial eyes?
I think you've got to see it through in the partial eyes. I was very pleased when a couple of people who were Middlesex fans sought me out somewhere and said that they thought it was just very, very balanced, because I thought Middlesex was the best side of that summer, and they deserved to win the championship. I mean, it would have been a nice story for me had Yorkshire become the first side to win it 3 successive years, the first since Brian Close's side in the 60s.
Middlesex have tried but never done it.
But I just thought it was just a fantastic story, really. And the game had so many turns and twists and corkscrew and changes of fortune. And if you remember, most of all, Tony, on that, I think it was the Thursday afternoon when it was raining or it was dark, and Ryan Sidebottom was just kind of clinging on so they could get past the total that would mean they wouldn't have to follow on or something. And it was just a fantastic match, really.
Well, thinking back to characters, I spent a bit of time that evening chatting to Tim Bresnan. I think 142.
Yeah,
what?
That's enough of Tony Bishop for the time being. But you can listen to more of that with Duncan Hamilton and Annie on our podcasts, which I think of on Podbean, amongst many other places. We're back for the second session, the afternoon session. England on a nice round 300, but they have lost 3 wickets. Vernon Philander is going to take possession of the newish ball. I think just a couple of overs with it before lunch. He's going to take possession of it now. He has figures of 1 for 44, and he has a jingle that goes a little like this.
Oh, well, I'm the type of guy who will never settle down. Where pretty girls are, well, you know that I'm around. I kiss 'em and I love 'em, 'cause to me they're all the same. I get so gosh darn hammered, I don't even know their names. 'Cause I'm a philanderer, yes, a philanderer. I sleep around.
That first session was really a truncated version of yesterday's play, where England got off to a magnificent start and then lost wickets in the last portion of the day, or the session. They were going along well, but then lost 3 for 11. Now find themselves 7 down on 300. It's Woakes, the bearded Woakes, facing up to Philander, who drags this first delivery a little bit wide. Woakes has a look at it and allows it to pass through. Sun has come out at Joburg, although we were talking that there might be some showers in the area for too long. I'm Gorilla Hendo, Nigel Henderson. Alongside me I have a man who's just been pottering in Sydenham village. It is indeed Roger McCann, or Roger McCann, as we like to call him in French.
Hello.
Hello. And on my left it is Jason de East Cork. Is that right?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, or bonjour even.
Well, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. No, that's Spanish.
Well, sorry, it is good afternoon though. Right, it's supposed to buenas dias or buenas noches.
Philander bowls. Oh, now just trying to flick at that. I think he's trying to play it straighter. He's ended up getting a thick inside edge down to quite square long leg. So Woakes gets his first run after the interval, and the man who goes way, who we've not really mentioned him much, has just popped into view and made his presence felt. England 301 for 7.
Yeah, I mean, he's right to go away because it's Philander's last test. Getting a chance to see him. The sun's out.
We want to weigh him up.
Yeah, it is. It's quite blue, in fact, over the stadium for the time being. And
I'd say he weighs a fair bit.
just filling up a bit as well, isn't it? Which is nice to see. A few South Africans coming down to see their own team at home. Philander into Butler, who clips powerfully up to mid-on. Played that nicely, but picked out the fielder. And there is no run. Butler resuming on 16. Woakes has 20. England 301 for 7. Any tweets? Jasson?
Yes, there is. Let me just get to...
Jasson Say-Nobs, you could call him.
Say-Nobs.
His cocks.
Sekoch.
I like
County
it.
Cricket Still Matters says 300, never in doubt, honest.
Really? Well, no, it shouldn't have been. Full, he finds the thick outside edge there as he was trying to almost shovel it away straighter than that, Butler. It flies down to deep backward point, but he's quick between the wickets, is Joss, if nothing else, and he gets back for a couple. And moves on to 18, England 303 for 7. I think the Bear was talking about the odds on England getting past 330. They're looking a lot better now. They were on about 270 at the time, I think. And they were 8 to 11 on at that point. And yeah, immediately Butler was setting out for the two there. Ran the first one very quickly. Well, this one's left outside the off stump, a little bit perhaps closer to off stump than Butler imagined, but safely enough negotiated. Trying to bowl. It looked like he was bowling a little bit of an off cutter there. Just a bit of twiddling of the wrist.
Arm a bit rounder as well.
Yeah, he
perhaps.
does do that from time to time, doesn't he? Yeah.
A couple of quick shout-outs on Quick Tracker. Kamal Kushwa says nice, and Ifad Ahmed responds with nice.
And very nice to have you. Driven a little bit on the up this time. Elgar deflects it on the dive at extra cover up to mid-off. And there is no run. That's the end of Philander's first over with a new ball. England have moved on to 303 for 7. They talk about storms, but at the moment nothing looks less likely. It's beautiful now at the Wanderers.
He's been quite busy in there, Elgar, today. He's quite close at extra cover, and he has to do it.
They do tend
sort
to
of in the dirt.
pop up as well in places where the ball is going to go, Elgar.
Yeah.
Because he's mobile, he's a decent catcher, he's got a decent arm.
He's a very good fielder, I think. Yeah.
You will place him where the ball is going to go rather than
He's one
trying
of
to hide him somewhere.
Yeah, he's one of those intense players in the field as well, isn't he? You feel like he's always looking for something to happen.
And the other man to which that happened yesterday was Peter Malan, who was everywhere he went, the ball followed him.
It did. He's at short leg for the time being.
Are you going to give this new ball to Hendo before you see him?
I'm going to give it to Nokia.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yes, and he's in, and he bowls a beauty, in fact, to Woakes, which nibbles away from the right-hander and beats him.
Pleased to see him. Let's hear him.
If your number one project is to have yourself a bride, I think I've got your number one guy. He was bought by a franchise when he was buying meat. It's Ulrich Nokia.
And if they've been doing their homework, as Nokia comes in again, bowls full on leg stump, flipped up to mid-on, they will have come to the conclusion that Woakes can be a little bit of a liability against the short ball.
Doesn't like it up him.
Doesn't like it up him at all. And we know that he's got 100 in Test cricket. He's a very decent batsman, but he has been revealed to dislike the ball in the chest stroke armpit area. Anyway, let's see what he can do. Nokia turns at the top of his run. Very measured stride into the wicket. Bowls short one down the leg side, and he flaps without really moving any other part of his body on the way through to the keeper. It wasn't a terribly short delivery, but it was back of a length, and he was in horrible position there, wasn't
I don't know, that's the pretty good length of Nokia. That's right, sort of right on the shoulder. No, it's quite hard to
Yeah, no, it's a hard length to deal with, but he's got terribly cramped, hasn't he? And the shot that he plays at the ball.
Oh, it's absolutely nothing shot.
Yeah, exactly. Nokia in again, short once more, not quite as short, defended this time on the back foot by Woakes into the onside, and there is no run. 91 miles an hour. Well, who likes it up on that 91 miles an hour? Not too many people.
I don't like it up at 91 miles an hour.
I'd like to be able to deliver it at 91 miles an hour, but that ain't going to happen.
Diana Patson gives us a bit of a producer's request. Says, could you please close the window a bit? Hendo sounds far, far away.
I'm miles away. Can we have someone from the green room to come and take measures, talk to the crowd a little bit? This is much fuller, and they're thinking about a single. Woakes is keen, but as it's fielded at mid-on, his partner Butler was kind of ball-watching and saying, no, not really, I don't think so. So no run is scored.
Knackle the cooler has come in and done the job.
Yeah, close the window, and they've all gone a little quieter. 2 slips of gully, forward short leg, long leg, mid-on. And of course, as soon as you try to read out the field, they change the view. Here is Nokia, final ball of the over, into the legs again of Woakes, but he doesn't mind it as full as that, and he's played it really neatly, he timed it well, and it's gone away to deep mid-wicket for one of these.
Just shows the good nature of this pitch. You just turn the wrists on that straight out of the middle, and you can play shots on this.
Yeah.
Because bowlers like pace, but batsmen like pace in the pitch too, because they can go through with their shots and get good value for them.
And especially when the ball is as hard as this. It's only 4 or 5 overs old. It does seem as if the pitch is a little bit slower once that ball gets or loses its hardness. Certainly towards the end of the first new ball that South Africa were bowling with, it wasn't coming off the wicket that quickly. Anyway, here is Philander into his 18th over, bustling past the umpire, outside off stump. Horrible shot played by Butler, absolutely no foot movement, just waved the bat of it, and was lucky not to get an edge through.
Chops at Mutton Lamb says, is it maximum time? I don't think so, not with 3 quick wickets in the first session.
Well, I suppose if anyone in this circumstance was likely to hit a maximum, it would be Joss Butler. But that did move, but I mean, he's just rooted to the spot, isn't he? It's awful batting.
And I did enjoy Davis Harrigan's response to us when we tweeted out a picture of Chris Woakes playing that little flappy shot, and he's got a picture of Kermit going "Wah!" everywhere.
Butler goes onto his toes to play this one slowly up to mid-on.
So that is the Kermit flail.
That's what we should refer to it as, the Kermit flail. Along with other innovations that you've had here on Guerrilla Cricket, like the Vatican slice, which are all varieties of.
We saw a strook in the under-19s, which was a straight hook.
Oh, a strook,
a variant of the strapple.
Oh, a strook.
Yeah.
I like that. This one is played off the hip. That would be the. No, you can't say clip, can you? It's gone down to long leg. Nokia fields. They should get back for 2 there. They do. Butler moves to 20, and England's 309 for 7.
Speaking of under-19s, we'll just quickly go through the scores there. England have beaten Nigeria by 8 wickets, only chasing 58, but finished off with a 6. Scotland versus Zimbabwe. Scotland are 108 for 5. And Japan and Sri Lanka is yet to start, and South Africa versus UAE. South Africa 290 for 8,
okay.
Almost at the end of their 50 overs.
2 slips in the gully. Joss leans into this one, throws the bat at it. It was very much on the up. It was too much on the up, really. That's why he couldn't get the power into the shot, and it's fielded at mid-off. 309 for 7. There are people soaking themselves in a
non-bubbly jacuzzi.
It's not actually the swimming pool. They haven't managed to stretch to the swimming pool at Joburg. It's just basically a spa bath, or bath, depending where you come from.
And the sort of STD vat.
Yes, exactly. I don't use those things if I can possibly avoid them. You feel like you might pick up loads of things. No! Oh my goodness! What is Josh done it again? He's come down the wicket. He's lofted it high into the air, and it's a very good catch over his shoulder, taken by Dean Elgar at extra cover. That was horrible from Butler, but it kind of suggests that England want to get on with it. They are now 309 for 8.
There was nothing
this is really Butler all over, isn't it? I mean, he comes down the wicket, but he starts to advance before Philander's into his delivery stride, which tells the bowler everything. Drops it a little bit shorter. It's not there for the shot. It gets it up high on the bat, and it goes not very far, but very high. Brilliantly taken by Elgar. And Philander has a second wicket.
You could say that was a shot of a fucking knobhead.
You could say that. I imagine Philander.
Yes, I imagine we've got a
send
send-off
words
from
there for Joss.
there.
It's not going well for Joss since he ran his mouth.
No.
Well,
I despair of Joss.
I don't understand. If you go that early and the bowler sees you, just pull out the shot.
Yeah, he can't do that, can he? He can't do that. I don't know whether it's his head goes up a little bit so he doesn't look at the ball as well as he should.
I mean, yes, I understand why he stayed a bit leg side, so he's got all the offside to play the shot through, but that just made it easier for it to turn the bat and go straight up in the air.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible. I don't really understand that. I don't know whether he was sent out there with particular instructions to get on with it. Perhaps he was, but it's not like England are so far ahead and that they can afford to. They've got to be looking at 350, and they were definitely in the race to get that. Now they may not get 330. Out to the wicket comes possibly the best number 10,
The best clean hitter.
who supports AFC Wimbledon in the world.
Do you know Mark Wood? Yes, he is an England bowler, quite good and pretty quick. So just a normal guy? Of course, except for just one thing. What? He thinks that he's a horse.
First ball from Philander. He leaves, and now that's probably what Josh should have done. That was a very professional leave by Mark Wood. And through the keeper it goes. End of the over, 309 for 8.
Beijing Ducks make a Mark Wood prediction. They say, I'm going to put my hat in the ring and say Mark Wood will hit 95 miles an hour in this game, then explode in a puff of smoke, not to be seen again.
Ooh. Actually, I saw, talking of AFC Wimbledon, I saw someone who was following us this morning
Ling Mao says,
saying they supported them. Sorry, go on.
Butler, you dick. Martin White says, Butler, you twat. Last test match, one hopes.
Variation on the theme there, but all pretty close to the mark.
There's various people still chuntering on from a discussion over lunch about Sheeran Gate.
Oh, he did give him a send-off, didn't he?
Might even have used the very epithet.
Well, I wonder
It's
whether...
the new salute.
The thing is, he doesn't have to worry about getting banned, does he? Because he's not going to
well,
play.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
There is little
So he could have
comeback.
said even more, in fact, than Butler might have expected.
It's all very unsavoury.
It was unsavoury, and I actually got that wrong. It wasn't Mark Wood leaving professionally. It was Chris Woakes, because, of course, they crossed. So Mark Wood will take guard now to Nokia, who might just try to stick it up his hooter and see if he can injure one or two fingers, perhaps.
Up the bridle.
That's up the bridle, yes. Anyway, settling down and looking deadly serious as Nokia comes in to bowl. It's short and he ducks it. It's down the leg side, over the arse, as Ian O'Brien would say. And there is no run.
Beijing Duck senses a very nice meme of a duck saying no after the Butler wicket.
Do you think that was a shot of a man who knows his days in Test cricket are numbered?
I hope not, because
You're quite a big fan of Joss.
I am. I am. But like I say, it's taken a bit of a hit after that.
The knob
The chirping, yeah.
Yeah.
The foul mouth chirping, and no, I think, and it's clearly it's wrecked his head.
Yeah. Oh, short. And Wood stays well inside the line of that and allows it to pass.
I think he was trying to be something that he isn't. You know, it was more. Is he trying to show off in front of Stokesy at slip, or show off the key to Root that I can be a hard guy too? But it was so false. It was so out of character. Him standing behind.
When I first saw the stories,
not that I know the guy, but he just seemed,
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw the stories about it, I didn't realise the context in which it was said. And as I understand it, it was because Philander got in the way of him trying to take a return throw. This is defended back to the bowler. There is no run.
He was just standing his ground, and the throw came into the keeper needlessly. So Philander just stood there. He's not going to waste energy at the crease, and then it prompted a load of inane. It was because England were striving for wickets. That was what it was. England again, as when England are under pressure, they lapse into this kind of nasty thing. Oh, let's go nasty. And I found it very difficult to believe the stories about Jimmy Anderson when they started coming out about how grumpy and rather
annoyed he could get at players and how much he sledged. This is defended again back to the bowler. I found that difficult to take on board. It didn't really strike me as that sort of guy. And all the talk has been is that he was quite a shy bloke as well. And I feel it's a bit like with Joss, really.
Well, I do think
like
he might get white line fever in the off the pitch. He's
I don't really get the white line fever thing. I don't really understand it, to be honest.
It's this cricket reveals character, and when you're under pressure, don't like to see it.
Defended on the back foot by Wood, just jumping maybe a step or two outside the leg stump to defend that. He's staying well inside the line of the ball at the moment.
Messages says things you expect here on Guerrilla Cricket number 224. Butler's shot was that of a fucking knobhead.
I said you could say that it was.
Well,
and Vernon did it for me. By the looks of things,
he's got in his 20s 4 times in this series.
Yep. Linux did.
It was Butler who brought in why am I stooping to Butler's level? He brought this filthy language into the game. I will be spotless from now on. Mother cricket.
Nokia bowls onto the front foot. That's better from Wood, and defended neatly up to mid-off. So maiden, England remain 309 for 8.
Linux says, at least Butler exceeded Arthur's prediction 5 runs. That's something, I guess.
Well, Annie has not come running in here yet to defend him. I think she cannot defend the indefensible. He made 20 of 43 deliveries. I mean, he was very watchful when he first came in. I wonder sometimes what goes through his head. Going back to, was it the New Zealand game or was it the first test of this series where he was trying to shepherd the tail and then just started going crazy? It wouldn't give. Oh, it must have been in.
It was the first. It was Mount Maunganui with Leach.
With Leach, yeah.
You've been called out by Leah. Who? Roger thinks is. How is Mark Wood a better number 10 than Ishant Sharma? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, I'm not. He's a fantastic number 10. What are you talking about? Whipped to mid-wicket, well stopped by Elgar.
Let's debate the best number 10s in world cricket.
Best number 10s. Well, I suppose at one point Stuart Broad would have had to have been one of the best number 10s, but it's been a long while, hasn't it? And now he's not even one of the best number 11s. Number 10s?
Ishant Sharma's, I mean, he's fine, but Wood's exciting.
Yeah, Wood's exciting. Wood's fun.
Wood's got gears.
And he's got proper shots as well.
Yeah.
Proper
he's
shots.
got gears. He's got wheels. He's got who's.
He's got
the lot.
He's got indicators. I don't know. I can imagine there's little indicators that come out from your head, like they used to do on old cars. If anyone remembers that far back. This is defended up to mid-off. There is no run.
Mark Zips joined us. Says, morning all. Yes, it feels as if Butler's mind has gone. By the way, setting up for the Albany New York Record Show. See you there.
Oh,
remember,
great.
mention GC and get 20% discount.
Yeah, there you go.
If you're in the vicinity.
Absolutely, there'll be hundreds of them, I imagine. Maybe we should start calling him Joss Butler.
Ooh, that will get a response from the green room.
Cross Butler.
Cross Butler, yes, indeed. Cross Butler defended. After we had the Universe Joss, that's long gone, hasn't it? This is defended into the offside. Peter Milan comes round to field from extra. And there is no run. 309 for 8. Wood yet to score. Woakes 24 from 36 deliveries. Woakes has looked more at ease, and he hasn't really batted for a long time. He looks more at ease than Joss Butler did. I'm really got a downer on Butler at the moment.
Yeah,
right
perhaps
now.
during the Sri Lanka series he'll get a chance to doss Butler.
Ah, yes, indeed. Philander in, bowls to Woakes. Woakes presses forward, and there's a wide open gap on the offside. That's so much so that the man coming in from backward point is having to hair to prevent them coming back for a second.
Backward point on the boundary, you should say. Because it seems to be an awful long way away.
Well, he was on the boundary, yes. Did I just say backward point? I meant to say deep backward point. 310 for 8.
Message says, talking about the Butler Philander incident, nothing Philander did was out of the ordinary, Hendo. The way Joss spoke, it just seemed like a reaction to verbal taunt either. Joss was just being a dick.
Well, yeah, he's gone down in estimations, hasn't he? Philander in again, bowls to Wood this time. It's a clever delivery, a little bit slower, tossed up on his leg stump, and he had to wait for it and played it well actually. Up to mid-on.
He just needs a bit more good fortune, as the Chinese and Hong Kong would say. Good Joss.
Good Joss. Good Joss. Joss stick. Joss stick. Joss stick. Or we say giving him a bit of Joss stick. I think that's
Yes, that's what we're doing. Yeah,
310 for 8.
that's what that smell is.
Leah says, I can remember a time when Broad was held to the next Botham. talking about number
Now
10s.
he's been caught there, has he, or has that just dropped short? My feeling was that was just short of Duplessis. He found a genuine edge from Woakes there. He dived to his left and forward, and very sportingly he has said, no, I don't think that did carry. It's not going to be one of those that has to go up to the third umpire. It's well short of him, actually. So I think he'd have been really pushing it to claim that one.
That's a good foot and a half, 2 feet.
Yeah. End of the over.
Finishing that Leah tweet, he says, and then he met Darren Aaron,
Aaron.
who rearranged his brain.
Oh, that's right. Was it Baron Aaron who did that to Brawley? I was rated Baron Aaron.
Yeah, he's
He's,
good.
but they've got some good pace bowlers in the Indian team these days.
Chris Paul's got another one. He's called Dross Butler.
Universe Dross. In comes Nokia bowling to Woakes. Woakes defends this ball. Back up the onside of the pitch. There is no run.
Martin White says, maybe someone can find an old on the buses script. Butler, I hate you.
Butler. Yeah, that loses a bit in translation if you're watching on Crick Tracker from... I don't know, maybe you did get on the buses out there. Who knows?
Oh, there's a very...
There's a cross, Somerset.
It's the Universe
lady.
Cross.
Yeah.
That's just come in.
I knew it wouldn't be long before we had a response.
Indeed.
J Mac says, Dross Muffler.
Full. Oh, whipped away. Lovely shot from Woakes. Played that really nicely, and that's gone to deep cow for one of these. But when a couple of overs ago, Nokia bowled that one that made him rather flap down the leg side, I thought he would continue that mode of attack, but he seems to be bowling a little bit too full to Woakes, so maybe he hasn't seen the videotape. And it was just coincidence that he bowled that one that had him flapping.
Dr. Dan says there's a picture of the Wanderers. Thank you very much.
Oh, lovely, thank you. In comes Nokia again, that's shorter. Dabs it into the offside and will take a single. Bavuma, with his little legs, comes pumping round from gully. And Woakes moves into the 30s. England 315 for 8.
And Lauren Jameson sends us a picture which questions a little bit the catch by of Elgar off Butler, but I would have said the ball is under control by that point.
Oh God, yes, I would have thought so.
It's a really good catch. It was a skyer that he had to take over his right shoulder. He had to run back from extra.
Those catches over the shoulder are really hard. Nokia then again in to Woakes, full, and he drives. It's not Woakes, it's Wood. What am I talking about? They look very similar in stature. Drives up to mid-off.
And Andy Goodwin sent us a excerpt of the law. Which says the ball does not touch the ground, even though the hand holding it does so in effecting the catch. And from the picture, the ball was touching the ground.
He may have just put that. That may have been another frame later when he's trying to get himself back to his feet.
Yeah, I didn't quite see it, but it's in the book.
Anyway, yep.
It's an interesting one, though. I will have a good look at that and research further.
Nokia in again. 4 for 102. Bowls a wicked bouncer to Wood there, who gets down with the expertise of a batsman higher than number 10.
You get it a lot in American football, which I follow, which what constitutes a catch, and there's been many controversial instances of how long does the receiver have to maintain control and possession, and obviously their feet. It complicates matter with their feet having to stay in bounds and things like that. But there have been incidents when, well after it's been seemingly controlled, the ball has then hit the floor. And they've had to review it and tweak it a lot over the last few years.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure about this from Leo after this ball.
Nokia again onto the legs of Wood, and he turns this crisply out to deep backward square for his first run. And at the end of the over, he's kept the strikes 316 for 8.
So without sounding too cliched, it's almost like, what does common sense tell you? What is it?
Yeah.
It's a cat. Elgar caught him out.
Yes.
Perfectly safely.
It looked right
and
to
he's,
me.
Yeah.
Leah says, Josh is also excellent at trash talking, I presume. He just says he. Says, nah, don't worry, he's a shit bowler. I'm going to hit him straight over his head for 6. Said very loudly to his batting partner.
That could well have been it, couldn't it? But well, I suppose that will all come out as the day goes on. Now we have most runs at number 10 in Test cricket.
There's
Stuart Broad has the most at 635. Dale Steyn 568. Nathan Lyon 520. Waka Yunus 496, and Bishan Singh Bedi 470. The highest average as Philander is in, bowls to Wood, and Wood plays that nicely. Only just short though, I think. Timed it really well, but it flew and bounced only just in front of the man at square cover. Ryan Harris at number 10 in the minimum of 10 tests. This is phenomenal. Ryan Harris, 32.50.
Pretty good average. Boosted by a few not outs, I imagine.
Well, yeah, but even so, Mitchell Stark, who we know can be a destructive batsman, 30.28. John Bracewell, Kiwi. Madden Lal, that's going back to the 70s, really. Late 70s, early 80s, maybe. And Ian Johnson of Australia, 25.85. In comes Philander again. Bowls, lovely ball, beats the outside edges. Wood comes forward. Most 50 plus scores at number 10. Is that right? The most there are. The most that anyone has got at number 10 is 2 50s. And that
Harmison
is held by Harmison. Really?
No, Harmison got 150. That might have been done at 11 even.
Michael Holding.
Was it?
Chud Langton. I think that's the one. I think Chud Langton's the bloke I had in my quiz,
That's
wasn't
right,
he?
you did, yeah.
Chudley. Good old Chud. He comes up every now and again. Now that comes back in sharply off the pitch, but well played by Wood, who still manages to steer it into the offside, has a big grin about it. Knew the skill that was being used there by Philander. Tony Locke, Sarfraz Nawaz, Ish Sodi, and Headley Verity all have scored 2 50s or more. No, all have scored two scores of 50 plus is what I'm trying to say. From number 10. Does that prove anything? I'm not sure.
We've got a whole pile of Joss puns from Beijing Ducks, which I'll bring to you after this ball.
Philander again. He's on his 20th over now. He's running in with purpose. This time he tries the Yorker, which is well dug out again by Wood. Wood impresses me with his batting. I look at him and I think he could be a good batsman. You know, I really think he could. Maybe he could. Is it too late for him to convert? Now that his body's almost collapsed from fast bowling, is it too late for him to convert to being a batsman again?
No.
He looks very useful.
I'm going to fire up his batting stats for you here. His first average is 17.84 in tests.
Not bad at all.
The high score of 52.
He's got 2 50s now. Oh no, just the one. We thought he might get another one in the last test. Didn't manage it in the end. 42 was out. Well, this is swinging away from him and left alone.
His first class average is 21.69, a high score of 72, not out, 5 50s.
5 50s, I think if you're getting a handful of 50s, you're pretty decent.
Yeah. Anyway, back to these Joss puns. You've got Josticulate, Just not good enough,
Just not good enough,
Joss Duffets, and Joss not a test player. That's not very good.
Was that all from the same person?
That's all from Beijing Ducks.
That's all from Beijing Ducks. Okay, thank you for that. Sunshine is out as Philander is in, and Wood goes back. Was tempted to play at that and then just drew the bat inside the line, perhaps with wisdom. And that is the end of the over, 316 for 8.
But the way Wood is batted showed that there was no sort of England plan to go hard after tea.
No.
And Butler extra irresponsible that he just had a wind at Philander, and meanwhile Wood is prepared to stick it out and one off 17 balls, bat for his partner.
How mean can we be to?
Well, I was just going to think. I think that's my final.
Well, no, I agree. I agree with you, but it does feel that we got a bit of a downer on Joss at the moment, and his keeping was dreadful, wasn't it, in the last test? Absolutely dreadful, especially in the South African second innings.
Martin White comes in and saying, unusual to see a horse in the bull ring.
Good point. Good point. Well, not necessarily, because they do have that sort of rodeo thing going on, don't they?
And a few shout-outs very quickly from Quick Tracker. Shoaib Khan says, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hattie Atkinson says, don't give a toss, Joss.
Don't give a toss, Joss. That's what it looked like. Defended back to the bowler by Woakes.
And Zitan Chowdhury gives us he thinks we're going to get 328.
Ooh, well, that's very precise. England need another 12 runs to get to 328, and of course that would mean the Bear loses money, because I think he might have put a fiver or something on England getting over 330. It's always quite fun when the Bear loses a bet, which is quite a lot, to be fair.
Yeah.
And on YouTube, Brian DeChazo says, Oh dear God, don't get me started on the NFL's watch to catch problem.
Lovely drive, beautiful, pleasant, fluent drive from Woakes, but he looks up and instead of admiring that running away to the boundary, he sees a large South African in the way at mid-off.
Well, we do like precision here, and the clock has just struck 11:58 and 45 seconds, which means it's time for a change.
Is it time for a change? Well, we've got 4 balls. We're going to get 4 balls in. We're going to go 4 balls over because we're not paying attention to your ridiculous precision. Although that said, Knackle has already arrived with flask and laptop. You feel like are you going on a trip to that chair? Short one. Oh, Woakes is horribly exposed by that delivery. He turned his head away from it straight away. It didn't get up as much as expected. It ended up hitting him on the wrist of the top hand, I think. But really, he looks to me like a walking wicket when the ball's short.
Oh, that's a quite good sledge, actually. Martin White says the new nickname for Butler could be cardboard, as in not cut out for it.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't just peppered Woakes with short balls.
Robert Harry says, I can't believe it's Josh Butler.
That's good. Well, you see that when you see the squad, you think, where's Woakes? Nokia in again, bowling to Woakes, and this time he pitches up and he plays a lovely shot, delicate shot off the front foot, gliding it down past gully. Round comes Elgar. They should have got back to 2 there, I would have thought, and they have. Woakes goes to 32, and England 318 for 8 to the 90th over. We're into the second session of the day, and we've only got through the number of overs we should have had yesterday.
So you wonder if Nokia was maybe caught between two stools. Maybe he wants to prove that he can be that new ball bowler that can, hit the channel as well and get people to nick off. But you're right, he was sort of neither one thing nor the other.
When you've got his pace, though, and you've got someone who looks so uncomfortable against short pitch bowling. Nokia in again, quite full, defended by Woakes on the front foot. I mean, I understand the notion of just using it as a surprise, but I think with Woakes, he's been exposed so badly by this ball in recent months that I think he should be concentrating on that.
Harry the Haydada says Wood could easily take England to 400 if he bats the same way as he did in the previous test. Yes, but that was against spinners in the main.
That was against Maharaj a lot, wasn't he? Yes. Not against the pace of Nokia. He did play 1 or 2 good shots off Nokia. I remember one he clobbered over the top of extra cover, which was spectacular. Final ball of the over. Nokia right up there, and he's going to get a catch. Taken by Duplessis, driving to his right. Woakes was driving at it, and he's found the outside edge, and he is absolutely surrounded. Who is it who's taking the catch?
It's Faf.
I thought it was Faf. Anyway, it's Nokia who's getting the congratulations. He's got a 5-fer. He's got a test 5-fer, 5 for 105. And, well, what do we know? He pitched it up, found the edge. That's a pretty good catch. Pretty good catch by Faf away to his right. Comfortable height, though. And it's time for a change.
Christopher Roger Woakes caught by Faf du Plessis, a much harder one than the one he actually dropped, diving to his right. A pretty good catch at second slip, or sort of wide-ish first slip, 32 off 46 balls. England 318 for 9 after 90 overs, with Mark Wood and these days the entirely notional Stuart Broad to come. Ulrich Nokia, his first test 5 for 23 overs, 1 maiden, 5 for 105. He's bowled very well today, certainly. Bowled a couple of pretty poor spells yesterday, but I think he's deserved his 5-fer, and South Africa might have found another fast bowler. We were saying before lunch that if they can get Nokia, Rabada and Ngidi on the field at the same time, that's a pretty tasty looking attack. With Maharaj, that's a pretty good 4-bowler test attack, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not too bad at all, And England are around about where I think they'll feel, I think they'd have wanted more, but 318 is not a bad start.
320 probably around par or so.
I mean, the ball's starting to do stuff for Philander. I mean, the new ball especially has been jagging off the seam.
I mean, the old ball was doing stuff beforehand. I think the pitch is just starting
to give something, which is perfect. You got the runs on the board, and then it starts doing shit.
Yeah, that was Nader Walker and Knuckle Pandey. This to my right is Annie Chave. Maybe get Broad's jingle in now, because who knows how long it'll last.
What would make Broad walk?
Not on strike.
If it stamps for us down.
Philander bowls to Dane Patterson, in fact, change of bowling. Bowls outside off stump, and that's blocked by Mark Wood on the bounce to gully. There is no run.
Right, message here says, here's a surprise, probably a fake statistic, purchased by Annie Chave. Joss Butler hasn't got to catch as Test wicketkeeper since returning to the side in 2018.
What? It's pretty good. I mean, his keeping is okay. I wouldn't say any more than okay.
It's not Folkes.
He's a bit wobbly up to the stumps. He doesn't.
He's certainly wobbly up to the stumps. He's not so bad back.
Back of a length and into the pads of Mark Wood. I wonder if they'll try and take 2 here. They will try and take 2. Now we have the hilarious sight of Mark Wood trying to protect Stuart Broad from the strike.
Surely
320 for 9.
They just give it some Humpty now, don't they?
I think Wood will. They should.
Yeah.
That was a nice touch from Philander. He handed Anrich Nokia the ball, and then Nokia held it up for the cameras to celebrate, to get that photo of him with his maiden Test fifer. He's bowled well.
I think Woakes seemed to mutter something as he went off the field as well, didn't he? I think someone said something to him.
2 slips and a gully. Patterson in and a club down the ground from Mark Wood. It's thumped into the stumps at the non-striker's end. Good stop by those stumps. They've saved 3. It bounces to Philander at mid-off. Should we get a boat and jingle with a new bowler, by the way?
Oh yeah. We could do that. If I can find it.
The man who has been referred to variously as a trundler and a medium pacer, and so forth. He's done okay, I think, but no more than that.
Here's his jingle.
Have you heard that Patterson? He's a bowler, South African. Favourite fair Resumption coming. He's got a really fine abdomen.
The joys of finding things that almost rhyme with Patterson. In he comes to Stuart Broad. Even Dane Patterson's bowling short at Stuart Broad. That's how much the word has got around in these last few years. Broad somehow manoeuvres his head out of the way of the ball and lets it pass over his said head. There is no run.
Broad should come out in an all-over body pad, shouldn't he, really?
Just a medieval suit of armour.
Yeah.
I honestly think Broad should just start swinging from ball 1.
Well, he does, really.
Kind of does, yeah. If it's in his half, he's certainly not afraid to go at it.
Patterson does put that in his half. Oh dear, that's a full toss, which Broad, I think, was trying to hit through extra cover. It comes off the inside edge through square leg. A horrendous wipe from a man with the highest Test score of 169, which the more you say it, the more sounds like mockery. They take a single.
Yeah, well, Brian de Chateau, he's on YouTube. He said we'd struggle to get to 330.
22 for 9. I think the odd lucky edge here and there, and England could get themselves to 340, maybe.
But then he goes on to, he's obviously a Brian, I'm guessing you're in America.
In comes Patterson, slipping a gully. Has no faith in Stuart Broad, and nor should he. And Mark Wood, I think, has just hit a 6 flat over deep point head. He has! What a shot that was! 6 runs to Mark Wood over the man on the deep point boundary.
Told you, he's been opener.
I believe in miracles.
I doubt he played any shots like that when he was an opener.
Since you came to bat, you 60 thing, you 60 thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came out to bat, you 60 thing.
What it says to me is you're an opener age group, but you don't go on.
He's got a decent eye.
Yeah, exactly. He's
Stuart
got an eye.
Stuart Broad was a top order batsman.
Exactly. That's what I mean. He still has an eye. If you give him long enough, he does get it.
That was a length ball outside off stump. Wood backed away outside leg stump. And even though there was a man on the deep point boundary, sort of about 10 yards off it, he decided, right, I'm taking him on. Flat batted it over his head for 6. Extraordinary.
He's going for that 330 that people are saying he can't get to.
Having said that, this now means that Stuart Broad is on strike for a whole over, potentially to Anrich Nokia, which I'm not sure is good news for Broad or England. Broad on 1, Wood on 10, England 328 for 9. We're seeing this wonderful, glorious, hilarious shot from Mark Wood. If you don't like Mark Wood, you're doing cricket wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there seems to be some confusion. What catches in the NFL? He's surprised. What's going on there?
2 slips in a short leg and a gully. That's hung outside off stump. Broad has a little poke at it. Misses it completely. Through to Quinton de Kock. There is no run. I'm just looking up the odds on what the next wicket is going to be, on the next wicket being bowled.
Yeah, I often go for that with Broady. It's not bad. It's usually about 4 to 1.
We've had this come in a couple of times. This is Anrich Nokia's first Test 5. His 12th in first-class cricket. He's bowled well, certainly today. Next wicket bowled is 15 to 4.
That's about right.
Betway.com/GC Radio.
Are you going to go for it, Bear?
I think I'm going.
Nokia in. It's not going to be bowled there. That's short and wide outside off stump. Broad tries to play a square cut of a batsman with much more talent. Misses it completely through to Quinton de Kock. There is no run.
I'd go for catch.
Yeah, but catch is boring. It's 5-2 on. Yeah, it's always the favourite method of getting out.
Oh, okay. I don't do the whole betting thing.
That's the problem with court. It's because more often than not, it is funny enough. That's why it's. I'll shut up now.
It is the most common mode of dismissal for pretty much every batsman in the world.
Yeah.
What about run out? Is that
run out? No, that's well out. That'll be out 16.
Run out is 25 to 1 with our friends at Betway. Nokia now round the wicket to Stuart Broad, and Broad rolling back the years, stays leg side of the ball and thumps this length delivery on the up over cover for 4. Not played a shot that good since about 2010. What a shot that was from Stuart Broad.
It was great, wasn't it?
Probably Nokia wouldn't put too many in his half now, I don't think. I'm surprised he hasn't actually just gone bouncer Yorker. But England 332 for 9.
We got that 330.
Yep. Broad and Wood having a bit of fun, and why not? Before they have to take the new ball. Presumably they'll take the new ball. Maybe it'll be Broad and Woakes. That's a short of a length delivery, and there was no gully in place. Temba Bavuma's been set back at third man, I think, for a top edge, and Broad fiddles it with an open face out through that gap. Takes a single, moves to 6.
I think it'll be Woakes, won't it? He did quite well in the new ball.
Yeah, certainly. If there is a bit of swing, you might want Woakes to be the man to exploit it, and then let Wood rev himself up second change.
Giddy himself up. Giddy himself up? No. What's the horse term?
Well, one giddies up, but I don't know. One, he can. I don't know. Sort of paw away at the ground in the stalls, kick a hole in the shed, something like that. Nah, he's a happy horse, Mark Wood.
Indeed.
2 men back on the hook, mid on, mid off, cover, 2 slips and a gully. I think a man back at deep point as well. Anrich Nokia on 5 for 110 bowls. 5th ball of the 92nd over. That's back of a length, and Wood defends off the back foot solidly enough. Nokia does some fancy footwork to flick the ball back up into his hands, and there is no run. Triple Nelson, 333 for 9.
Oh, lovely. So they got over 330. I didn't bet on that. Kunal Talani says Mitchell Johnson would disagree, having been hit by Ishak for a glorious square drive on his way to 31 in Mohali. I don't know what that refers to.
We're talking about best number 10s, and we tweeted that Ishant Sharma is a quite dogged number 10, but he has no shots.
Rowan Hunter just goes CC. I presume that's county cricket, and we all know Rowan, and etc. 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 Leah Bundle of Joy says, is there any reason not to declare instead of sending Broad out?
I was thinking the same thing, but I guess if Broad's going to try and hit every ball for 4 or 6, you might as well see how long it lasts.
Might as well get
last ball of the over. Wood backed away outside leg stump, going deep in the crease. Like he's, I don't know, Hardik Pandya or something, or Josh Butler trying to smash the ball over, cut mid off for 6. It comes off the bottom part of that, rolls up to mid on. There is no run. England 333 for 9.
Ravi, the heavy roller ready, says Nokia has a 5. That's taking responsibility and gets stuck into the opposition. Yeah, indeed. Dan the man says intensely annoying as a hold on, sorry, I'm gonna edit that. Oh no, I'm not going to edit it, because I've read it. He says, intensely annoying as a tweeter, and now Kendall sending rambling commentator for Sky. I think he's having a go at KP. Suggest you all turn the TV sound off and tune into Gorilla Cricket. Thank you very much, Dan the man. A KP free zone, a few laughs too.
In comes Dane Patterson. 2 slips on a gully. Right arm over the wicket from the golf course end. Broad, oh dear. That's one of those shots you have to describe limb by limb. The head was up in the air looking at a square leg. One of his feet was pointing towards fine leg. The other one was pointing straight down the wicket. The bat ended up pointing behind him, and the ball dribbled through outside off stump to Quinton de Kock. There is no run.
It's what we've come to expect from Broad, really, isn't it? Much more.
Bayesian Ducks wants to know how many Woody 6s we're going to see. Well, hopefully at least another 3 would do me.
Stuart Broad, mein Gott, a genuine lofted straight drive for 6 back over long off. Even Mark Wood is smiling and can't believe what Stuart Broad has just done. That's a magnificent shot.
Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6.
Is that a Nestle boy?
That was a superb shot. It was a length delivery from Dane Patterson. It was in the slot, really, as you'd say in a limited overs game. But Broad just cleared the front leg and with a really lovely free unencumbered swing of the bat sent it back over his head for 6. England 3-3-9 for 9. Short ball, and Stuart Broad has a mow at this one, misses it through to the keeper. There is no run. I'm not sure Patterson is the right man to be bowling at Broad.
No, he's not quick enough to do that kind of attack anyway. I don't think he'll particularly bother him. Martin White says, not a Butler sledge. One-arm Butler. Can't take it, but dish it out.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
I know everyone's trying to rile me.
In like bias, Dan.
Hold that thought. Fourth ball at the over. Outside off stump, and that's very wide outside off stump. If Patterson is going to bowl full, he's got to go wider off stump like he did there. Broad tries to slam that over long on. Misses it by about a yard. There is no run.
He says the full dissonance comes from talking about Mark Wood protecting Test centurion Stuart Broad. Don't need to. He's just slammed a 6 straight back over the head of the bowler.
A beautiful 6.
It was a lovely 6, yeah. He's still, every once in a while.
He's got it. He's still got it.
Well, he doesn't still have that. Broad tries to take him over the leg side this time. It's off the toe end of the bat, and it bounces well short of Dwayne Pretorius, who overruns it, forgetting that the ball will always spin off the toe end of the bat. And Stuart Broad comes back for 2, moves to 14, which I think is about as many runs as he scored in the last 6 months combined.
May well be, but it's valuable. 340.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Creeping up towards 350.
England slogging their way towards a good first innings total.
So the average was 355 first innings, wasn't it?
In the last 5 years, yes, and that's dragged down a little bit by one particularly spicy wicket.
Yesterday we said we'd take 350 definitely.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think so. As Patterson's in, just wanted to get out of this over without any trouble. Broad hooks this one, and he's found the gap between long leg and deep mid wicket. I think that's gone for 6. It has. Broad moves to 20. England 3-4-7 for 9.
And his Test average of 18 is secure.
Yes, indeed, 18.6. That was 14 runs off that over from Dane Patterson. Probably his last of the innings. One might think.
You did actually watch that all the way onto the face of the bat.
I know, because Patterson's bowling short at 80 miles an hour.
Perfect,
yeah, exactly.
Perfect for Broad, isn't it?
Precisely, right in the slot.
Yeah, England 347 for 9, and having quite a lot of fun out there. It's sort of scored 29 in 3 overs.
Yeah, Patterson's bowling Broad back into form. That's what, yeah.
Well, exactly, which is kind of what Barb says. He says, well, he's already on 14, and that was, before he hit that 6.
Yeah, I put out on Twitter, let's play Broady Bingo. Okay. How many and how out?
I'm going to go for 48.
Ooh.
And I'm going to go for Court.
Damn. Well, I need bold, obviously, because I put money on it now.
I'm going to go LBW for 23.
LBW is always a good shout as well.
We do have a change of bowling. Ulrich Nokia out of the attack at the call at drive end, and the left armer, who's only taken 1 Test wicket so far, comes in. Left arm round the wicket to Mark Wood, who squirts this wide Yorker away between second slip and gully for 4. Wood moves to 14. England over 350 now, 351 for 9.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
And let's get a jingle for the bowler, the left armer making his Test debut. He's just been chopped away by Mark Wood, so to speak.
I will when I can find it.
He's the last one, isn't he? Or somewhere down there. No, he's not.
Wood freeing the arms again, just going deep in the crease, clearing the front leg and lofting as yet unjingled bowler back over his head, straight to mid on 1 bounce 4. And yes, it should be the man in the number 11 slot for South Africa. Aha!
Supposed to have a rest on this, on jingles.
It's not how it
works.
The Saffers are reeling and can't get a break. Their pace
slipping a gully, Hendricks in. Short, Mark Wood launches this over the leg side. Has it got enough? Yes, it has. Another 6 for this last wicket pair. Magnificent stuff.
This is exhausting.
And do you want to switch?
2
Partnership of 37 between these two.
How many balls?
In just 20 balls.
Nice. Perfect. End of innings. Give it a bit.
Yeah, it's
a bit of slap
exactly
happy.
what England needed, really. And I think it's smashed England's record for the highest 11th wicket partnership at this ground, which was 25 between James Anderson and Graham Swan in 2010. The record here for anyone for the 10th wicket is 71.
Okay, what are we on? 43?
43 this partnership now of 21 balls.
Number 28 will do it.
Back over the wicket, Buren Hendricks. Back of length outside off stump. That one lifts a little bit, and Wood has a little choppy cut at it, but too close to cut and bounces over the top of the bat, and then loops through to Quinton de Kock. There is no run.
Yeah, this is fun and games.
Yeah,
Come on,
looking
Twitter,
very
you're all a bit
relaxed.
quiet. Oh no, here's somebody. Oh no, there's a couple of people in actually. Someone's listening in Thailand. Ben Dutton, Sutton even, listening in Thailand. As I was when I got my first mention from TMS in 2014. That's how much you know.
Wow.
Slip in the gully, men back at deep point, and on the leg side, Wood has a swing at this. Swing, bada, miss. There is no run.
Broad was having a swing then. He was out in 50 balls, LBW for 23. Not today. Broad bingo, Beijing Duck says bowled for 49. Clint William comes in broad, 32, bold. Everyone's going for bold. I went money on bold. Grits and Grats is home for another broad century of old. And if that happens, would probably mean Wood would get a double tonner. Nice.
Two men back on the leg side now, long leg and deep mid wicket, pretty much cow corner and mid on. Those are the leg side fielders. Buren Hendricks bowling the last ball of the 94th over of the innings, his 21st. He's in. Wood pulls this all the way along the ground. And takes the single out to Peter Malan on the deep square leg boundary. He moves to 25, Broad on 20. England slogging and swinging and gaily skipping their way to 362 for 9.
Chris Poole, save Willie Bush Hospital, is Broad bingo, 33, caught on the offside boundary. Messi Jez, 20 out. 21 not out. That means there's only going to be about 2 more runs scored.
Look at all those people in fancy dress, eh?
Yeah, it's looking very colourful, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a bit of fun. Some colourful hats, colourful shirts, all to the good, and a sort of early period Andre Agassi wig being sported in the crowd. Dane Patterson is for some reason continuing. I can only assume that Faf du Plessis has taken against him, as he did against Keshav Maharaj.
Maybe Andre
in the part of the series.
Well, this is what I don't get. Philander. How many overs did Philander bowl?
3 or 4 in that.
Exactly.
In that
I mean,
spell.
it's his last bloody test. He just took a wicket.
Yeah, this is a little bit odd. Patterson, for some reason, continues. Wood backs away over the outside leg stump, tries to smash this over the offside, comes off the thick outside edge of the bat, down to Russie van der Dussen, who's at fly slip back on the boundary. It bounces short of him. They come through for a single.
We have some people on Crick Tracker getting in touch. Irfan Ahmed says, nice. Shoaib Khan says, hi, good afternoon. Hadal Atkinson says, don't give a toss, Joss. Zishan Chowdhury says, 320? No. Michael Swanson says, when is the game over? In 3 days and a bit, possibly. Could be any time in between then and now. Well, not really, but...
it could be over tomorrow,
it
theoretically.
could be over tomorrow, theoretically. Could be over today, theoretically.
That would be quite
that would be quite something, wouldn't
it?
For Brawl, there's 2 men back on the hook, a man floating at mid-wicket and a man at mid-on. Dane Patterson did exactly the right thing there, pitched it up, got the ball to swing a little bit, and it's just missed off stump as Broad was backing away outside leg stump. Good bowling from Dane Patterson for once in this little spell. He's a little bit unlucky on that occasion. I didn't miss off stump by much.
Hombre Nuevo, who's got an entry in the GPL, says afternoon he likes gambling. Clearly afternoon roll bingo, 36, caught off the top edge swinging.
It's not a bad call.
36, did he say?
It's not a bad call. As Patterson is in. Broad swings the bat through the line of the ball, and he's hit another 6 back over the bowler's head this time. Straight. Rod Tucker raises the arms.
Having been struck by the bat, the ball pitches beyond the boundary. It's a 6.
Rolling back the years is Broad, isn't he?
I know, right?
Well, that's over 21 non out, isn't it, Missy Jersey? Could still be non out batsman though.
This is only the second time I think that a 50-run partnership has been scored for the 10th wicket at the Wanderers.
Oh, we have a new listener.
What,
by anyone, for the first time since the last, or certainly since the record was set, which was a while ago. And Broad tries to sort of steer this wide Yorker past backward point, misses, bounces through to Quinton de Kock. There is no run. So the last one was by Fani de Villiers and Alec Donald versus Pakistan in January 1995. That was 71, which is the record.
Okie dokie. Gary Harden says, a new listener. Hello, new listener. Gary Harden. UK know the drill. Are you a drill salesman? I don't know. He says, sat waiting for my car to be serviced at Kia at Bury. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Ling Mao says 53 not out. I presume that's Broad. Bingo. Beijing Ducks.
In comes Patterson. Wood watches in a mixture of agony and hilarity as Stuart Broad has a wild swing flail thing at a ball that was short and angling across him outside off stump. As far as this has been from England, South Africa have bowled terribly at this last wicket. I don't understand why they just haven't bowled every single ball short to Stuart Broad.
Yeah, well, they haven't got a pace. They have tried bowling short, and he smashed them over square leg for a 6, didn't he? That's the problem. I think only Nokia would be the one to do it, but you can't bowl him forever.
Last ball of this, another punishing over from Stuart Broad. That's a good ball from Patterson, though. Full. If you're going to go full, go Yorker, and that was Yorker. Broad, head up in the air, wild swing, thick inside edge, bounces off the stumps. Off the foot past the stumps. They take a single. Broad to 27, Wood to 26. England 370 for 9.
Wood's not protecting the strike.
Doesn't need to, does he?
Strike, no,
doesn't need to. I always say with Broad, ever since he did get hit, and I've said this many a times, I think today he's come out hitting and swinging anyway, but it takes a lot longer to get his eye in, but he isn't. Once he gets his eye in, he's not scared of the short ball. He'll happily try and hook it still. It's just that he
needs confidence.
He needs the confidence to get himself going. And the Beijing Ducks say, "Can we perhaps have a gorilla fancy dress day, please?"
Oh, that's a good idea.
I thought of that the other day. It would be quite amusing.
What would you like us to wear?
No, don't say that.
Are you mad? It should be a free choice, surely.
And we were thinking about clown cricket yesterday.
We
weren't
were, yeah.
Yeah.
The field is sort of Brian Lara cricket scatter 7, really, for Stuart Broad. There's a slip, and everyone else is either back on the boundary or near the boundary. If Broad has any brains, he will just nudge this into the leg side for one. He tried to, I think. Hendricks bowled down the leg side, and Broad, I think, just tried to tickle it on its way. Missed with that tickle. De Kock takes down the leg side. There is no run. There's 2 runs anywhere that Broad wants here in front of square. England 370 for 9.
Lord Lupin County Cricket still matters, says 34 LBW. Broad bingo.
It's a fun game. He hasn't lasted long enough for us to play it for a while.
Well, he's already in his Beijing Ducks. He wants Nestle Boy to dress as a cricket bat. Knackle as Richie Benno. Rog has to be a pineapple, of
in
course.
In comes Spearin Hendricks and Stuart Broad. Stand up tall and punches delectably down past Gully for a single. And
Annie has to dress as Joss Butler. I presume I get a bear outfit or something, don't I?
What
can Hendo? What can we get Hendo?
You know you're named after the Hofmeister bear.
Yeah, what is
they
that?
serve Hofmeister at the pub down the road.
It's making a comeback.
The
Hofmeister.
Greyhound.
Yeah, they relaunched last year, didn't they? Yeah, Clint Williams, you're right there. He says weird day when Broad and Wood exceed Stokes and Denley.
It's entertaining.
Bjorn Hendricks, just the 1 wicket so far in his test, in his 1 innings long test career. A pretty dreadful bit of cricket all round, really. It was short and wide outside off stump, so wide it's actually given a wide by Joe Wilson. Wood tried to slam it over square leg, missed completely, and Quinton de Kock fumbled it, but it only will be the 1 wide because they do not. He did not fumble it enough for them to come through for the extra. The extra, if that makes any sense. Bjorn Hendricks' 1 wicket was that of Dominic Sibley, caught by Quinton de Kock for 44. He did also have a catch dropped off him as Hendricks is in full good Yorker, dug out well by Mark Wood. He just turned the face on it and got the single behind square on the leg side. Temba Bavuma, who is probably wondering why he's out on the boundary field, they come through for that 1.
We're going to get his jingle soon, aren't we? Well, maybe. Fancy dress day, says Missy Jez, would surely involve each gorilla dressing as another gorilla. Whoever gets the bear has to bring Crack the Bear as well. Annie is a Smurf, says county cricket still matters.
Stuart Broad, with his very wide stance and his weight over his front knee, faces up to Buren Hendricks and has a wild swipe, which comes off the inside part of the bat, down to the lesser spotted Vernon Philander at long on. They surely come through for the single. Yes, they do. Broad moves to 29.
Ooh, 19 left to get 48.
Good maths.
That is good for me,
It is
actually.
good.
Yeah.
This is Stuart Broad's highest Test score since the first innings. Since the first innings against Australia at Edgbaston last year. Short outside off stump, but Wood takes one hand off the bat as he tries to slam this with a pull shot over square leg, misses through to the grubbing de Kock as he takes it at his ankles. There is no run. On that occasion, he actually faced 67 balls for that 29.
Well, Gits and Gratz says Wooden Broad swiping like a rotating chicken breast on Tinder. And he sent us in a cracking little video, a little gif of a chicken breast that's rotating on something that's actually does manage to rotate a phone.
It appears to be swiping left, though.
Yeah, no, it's swiping
right.
It's swiping right.
The chicken likes it. Buren Hendricks in last ball of this increasingly comedic over. It's a slow ball bouncer, which I don't think is actually a bad option. That's good, smart thinking from Buren Hendricks. Wood thinks about playing, then leaves. Through to the keeper it goes. There is no run. England, in hilarious fashion, are 374 for 9.
Pirate Bradshaw says Hendo has to be dressed as a cat, surely. Beijing Duck says the bear, I have to be a giant panda. Yeah, I could go there. Hendo has to be Boris Johnson. That'd be quite amusing.
Why a giant panda?
Because that's what they're called, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, they're giant pandas.
They're not just pandas then?
I think they're
Do you have a
technically
panda and then
panda.
a giant panda?
There's various types
What's
of panda.
a small panda?
There are small pandas. There are species of small panda. Small.
Yeah.
The red panda is quite small.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Saw them the other day on the Nature Programme. Not watching. Can Broad bat again? Well, he's just having a big swipe, and they're not particularly quick apart from Nokia. He could probably trouble him, but he had a spell and it's probably knackered.
Dane Patterson still continuing the wide slip, and everyone else some way back to the boundary. Bowls almost a Yorker, which Stuart Broad digs out up to long off. They come through for the single, and that is Stuart Broad to 30 for the first time since, let's have a look, since the first innings against India at the Oval in 2018.
Gosh, really?
Well, James Hanahan, and we watched this game, I'm sure Tim Murter and George Dockwell in Derrida in 87, I think it was.
Sorry, it's the first. Yeah, my stat, I missed out at the Wanderers in my tweet about the stat. This is a good slower ball from Dane Patterson outside off stump. Wood has a poke at it and misses through to the keeper. There is no run. Yeah, I meant to tweet first player of any nation to pass 50 for the 10th wicket at the Wanderers.
I was going to say, because when Jimmy got his bloody 87, it was 100 and something.
It was 189. That's the record for the 10th wicket.
Yeah,
it was a good knuckle ball actually by Dane Patterson, that one. But a slower ball against a couple of slogging batsmen is not a bad option.
And Neil Puckup says, that's not true. Maharaj Patterson last week for starters.
Yeah.
That wasn't at the Wanderers.
Full delivery, well dug out by Mark Wood. It was a Yorker, a little bit of swing too, and Wood again just closed the face on it and takes the single out into the onside. Patterson has to do his own fielding. He's seeing the funny side, and I suppose that's all you can do really at this stage.
Yeah, this sort of run, people scoring against the bowling at this. At the end of innings is really irritating, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Weakling Child says, all of you need to dress as Jacques Hannes to give South Africa full set of security, thinking that he might pick up his bat.
It's a slower ball, and Wood slugs this out into the leg side. Peter Milan fields on the deep square leg boundary. It's just too easy now for England. They've spooked Faf and the rest of the South Africans into setting the field back, and now there's absolutely no pressure on them whatsoever. England 377 for 9.
How do you dress as Jack Callis?
Maybe put full stomach on.
Full stomach on? Yep.
With a bat.
Well, actually, most of us don't need to do that.
with a bat wider than the stumps.
Yeah.
Short ball from Dane Patterson, which Wood ducks out of the way of. It says something when Mark Wood is the sensible one out of a pair. 377 for 9. There is no run.
Mr. Rolite, or Mike Taylor, says, Bear, did you get that top from Camelot shop? Funny, I didn't see you there. No, I got it super dry, you know. Mark Zip says, the Venn diagram of furries and gorillas. He shudders at the thought.
Last ball of this over from Dane Patterson. A little bit of swing, dug out in sensible fashion by Mark Wood. Back to the bowler, there is no run. These two have put on 59 off 43 balls. England are 3-7 for 9. Nestle Boy has hoved into view. And
about
at drinks,
time too.
South Africa are in need of something considerably stronger than Gatorade.
The best things in life are free. Just like Gorilla Commentary, we need money. That's what I want. .com/Gorilla Cricket. We need money. I don't like the BBC. I prefer Gorilla Commentary. I want money. $20 for the archive. That's what I want.
Well, it's 12 minutes 32 and 30 seconds, which means it's time for a change. And for the first time today, we're going to say hello to a man who came laden with sweet treats, piling on the pounds for the rest of us. It's Sean Nestle Boy. Hello.
Tracy.
Tracy, of course. How are you doing?
Good, mate. How are you?
Pretty well.
How is everybody?
We're having a lot of fun watching this little 10th wicket Bish Fest.
Annoying 10 wicket thing for South Africa.
Yeah, and you're listening to Gorilla Cricket. You know that. We're live from Sydenham in southeast London, where the Saturday is beginning to take shape, isn't it? You've been...
It's going to be taking shape for you in 33 minutes, isn't it?
33 minutes and 45 seconds, yes. Yeah, it's pregnant with possibility, the weekend. The last weekend of Saturday, January, the longest month.
Yeah, although there's been plenty of cricket to help it pass.
That's true. Thanks, Mother Cricket.
Pakistan, by the way, had beaten Bangladesh in the second of those T20 internationals, a 9-wicket stroll, chasing just 136.
Is that in Pakistan?
It is in Pakistan, in Lahore.
Good.
Who got them?
Let's have a look. But before that, we do have some tweets. Weakling Child says, to dress as Jack Callish, you need a bat, a ball, and to be a lot bigger than you look on TV. Mike Beeling says, don't think Faf's mind is quite right, and that's in response to George DeBell tweeting, which we've retweeted, 8 men on the boundary for a 10th wicket pair. Yes, indeed, they had the slip and everyone else scattered. I was saying that it's just taken all the pressure off Wood and Broad, not that there was much on them in the first place, but now South Africa are just spooked and just not trying to get them out.
Yeah, England 377 for 9, when the top score is only 66. Is someone going to dig out whether that's some sort of record? It feels like it might be. With Wood and Broad having a merry old time. They came together at 318 for 9. They've put on 59, and they've done it mostly with long handle, as you'd imagine.
Yeah, the tone was set by Mark Wood slapping Anrich Nokia on the up over point for 6.
And these are shots.
Some of them are.
These are.
Some of them are proper cricket shots. A couple of Broadies were very nice. This one that we've just seen him clubbing Patterson back over his head for 6 was lovely, but some of them were out and out swipes, but effective.
Sort of time where South Africa might look around for a spinner, but no, they're going to resume with the left arm over the wicket of Buren Hendricks, who gets a short one, and Broad resumes the fun with a pull shot that's gone flat over mid-wicket. For Nestle Boy into the action straight away.
2, 4, 6.
Where is it?
Hendo pleading for this maximum from Nestle Boy.
Maximum.
I think he deserves this as well.
Could well be. He's top edge. Well, he's top edge to pull. It bounces out to deep square. Elgar there does the fielding, but Broad goes to 38 with some vintage slap. He really nailed that previous one. It did go for 6.
Bring that 6 brought up Buren Hendricks' century.
Yeah. Slow bouncer, which Well, Broad's kind of waiting for something in his half, so he can wait a bit longer and absolutely crash it. Yeah, 101 for 103 for the debutant in his 23rd over. And he's been spraying it over the shop, desperate for this final wicket. What can he serve up to Mark Wood? Something that's wide and cuttable. Out to the point boundary. Elgar in the same spot. Moves to his right neatly. Sends it in. There's another slower one. Nestle, you put yourself out there. How are you going to end this frustration if you're the bowler?
This is the problem. It builds, isn't it? The frustration builds and mistakes. You know, you just got to keep bowling out of the stumps
and hope they miss one eventually.
Yeah,
full and straight. Perhaps here comes Hendricks. This is too full, and it's a full bunger, and Brody just glides it off the hip. I don't know what it hit, but it's run down to the boundary for 4 more to the total.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Thigh-pad, I think.
That's not going to get you what you want.
Very loose.
I bring on Nokia at one end and Dean Elgar for some pies at the other.
Toss it up.
Yeah.
Well, Faf bowled a bit of filthy leg spin back in the day.
He used to be a proper leg spinner, didn't he? He came over to Lancashire as a leggy.
He used to bowl the first over of a T20.
Hendricks. This one's short and Broad gives it everything, hasn't timed it. But it bounces a couple of times out to Nokia at deep mid wicket.
It's not within 30 yards of where that ball landed. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, everyone's out, and then eyeballs on Faf. Because again, there's no hiding place. He's shining up the ball now.
And that is the record for the 10th wicket partnership at the Wanderers, beating Fani de Villiers and Alan Donald versus Pakistan in January 1995.
Wow.
Fani up in the Afrikaans commentary booth.
Keeping an eye on ball tampering. It was him who alerted the Supersport cameras to the Smith-Warner-Bancroft shenanigans.
So Fani. This one, Show Wood makes room and slams this over high over a cover onto the grass bank. Something for the kiddies to get excited about. Woody.
Having been struck by the bats, the ball pitches beyond the boundary. It's a 6.
Fantastic. Good old-fashioned heave-ho, but it's really neat, giving it everything and nailing it flat. Went way back into the crowd. Really watch the kids. The England players are off their seats. England are up to 3-9-7 for 9. Faf is trying to look non-bothered, but this is getting pretty hilarious. 3-9-6 for 9, I'm sorry. The run rate's gone over 4. And it's these two are racing each other. Wood up to 35, but Brody is in front on 39, and Dame Patterson's going to chug in over the wicket. Short, Broad hits this one out of the middle again. There's no fielders all the way on the boundary, and Bavuma can't get to it.
Oh dear.
It's Nissan she. It's Nissan she.
What do the tweeters think, Knuckle?
Messi Jez says it has to be considered that for a weekend to be pregnant with possibility, someone had to fuck it first. Was that Nestle boy's responsibility last night? Beijing Duck says fancy dress options, actual gorillas, that Annie as Dr. Jane Goodall and Hendo as Tarzan. Clint Williams says need to do a bingo first innings total. My entry is 4.55 for 9 declared. Chris Paul says I might tune into Gorilla SA for amusement value. This last wicket stand is hilarious.
The 400 this one's short. He's top edge this one into the onside. Is anyone getting near it? The cameraman doesn't know. It's been pouched by someone. It's been pouched by Milan. Broady's fun ends on 43. England with a round quadruple 100 in their first innings. What fun. It's all over. Stand of 82. Patterson has his man.
Nice round total.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, he missed out on the double O's in Port Elizabeth, where they were 499 for 9 declared. But I wonder when the last time England scored 400 in back-to-back first innings was.
I'm sure someone will tell us.
I suspect it's probably, with all these stats, I suspect it's probably not as long as we think. But that was very, very entertaining, wasn't it?
Yep.
We do have some tweets. Ling Mao says, when we bowl, Broad is going to take 6 for 20. Balderdash says, regarding the Butler conundrum, I can't help feeling England are missing him a trick batting him at 7. Dropping him down the order a few places and playing him as a specialist number 11 is the way forward. Gibson Gratz says, maybe you could try this look for the Callis fancy dress. I mean the half beard, and sends in this ludicrous photo of Jack Callis literally sporting half a beard.
Oh, wow.
Which I've retweeted.
He also sports half a hairstyle, half of it his own and half of it.
Oh, yeah. Remember them rubbing it furiously when he took it was not quite Doug the Rug Bollinger territory, but close. Weakling Child says Broad swinging there like he was at one of those parties. And Lear says, but Jane Goodall studied chimpanzees. Diane Fossey studied the gorillas. Durban Oak says, that last wicket stand was even more entertaining with Umpo and his arms held out in exasperation and bewilderment at the field. He's gone off networking now. I can imagine if you were South African you were confused by that one. 82 runs for the 10th wicket in double quick time.
That's fabulous.
And it was Anrich Nokia who led off the disgruntled Putez, but they gave him a warm hand. His maiden Michelle in tests, 5 for 100 and...
he ended up on...
100 and change. But he wasn't the only bowler to bring up a ton.
No, indeed. Bjorn Hendricks also 5 for 110 in 24.1 overs. Werner Philander 20.2 overs, 2 for 50. Dane Patterson 20.2 overs, 2 for 86. Bjorn Hendricks 23 overs, 1 for 111. And Dwayne Pretorius 11 overs, none for 34. The top scorer, Joe Root on 59, Ollie Pope on 56. Sorry, Zach Crawley made 66, of course. Joe Root on 59, Ollie Pope on 56. Dom Sibley 44, and Stuart Broad 43.
Yeah, nine batsmen got to 20. No one got above 66.
9 batsmen got to double figures. No one got above 66. Ben Stokes on 2 and Sam Curran a golden blob, the only men not to pass double figures. Even extras brought up the double figures with 16.
Good old extras.
Good old extra. What's your favourite extra, Nestle?
Oh, anything over 20, I think.
No, of the various extra, like what's your favourite?
Oh, what of the three types of extras?
Yes. What do you love to see? You know.
The ridiculous bouncer that everyone misses. That flies over the wicket-keeper's head.
The ones that are given byes that should be wides, you mean?
Yeah.
I've sort of invented a new category for those, these sort of byes asterisk. A back foot no ball I think is always quite fun. You don't see those enough.
Or 3 men behind square on the leg side.
Yes. Had that a couple of times in the IPL when people aren't paying attention. On YouTube, Brian DeShazo says, innings break equals cigarette breaks. Don't smoke, kids. You end up like a crotchety asshole like me. Alex de Pfeffel says, I bet on a draw, so I'm happy with 400 as long as Saffers don't lose more than 4 by close of play. He also says, if they lose more than 5, they'll lose by day 4. Brian DeShazo says, I believe I said that 400 was in reach if Wood went ballistic. Didn't expect Broad to play such a prominent role, though. And on Crick Tracker, we have a few people with us, but nobody really saying anything.
Yeah. And just looking at other sports being advertised, and I'm not a fan or a follower, but I watched that documentary about Aaron Hernandez on Netflix. Do you know about the story?
I know all about it. I don't think I'll watch. Well,
it's fascinating. Yeah, actually, it's a 3-parter.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, especially like me. I didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, really troubled guy.
Oh, absolutely. But the stuff that comes out that wasn't known about him is the interesting part of the documentary. But incredible.
Fantastic. Him and tight end. Him and Gronkowski came in when Patriots had this 2 tight end strategy that was beating all comers, and then
the fact that he'd murdered 2 people and went back to playing, and they gave him a $40 million new contract, and he knew he'd killed 2 people. It's incredible. Well worth a watch if anyone's got a Netflix subscription.
Yeah, get you keyed up for the Super Bowl next week. Chiefs versus my 49ers. I'm repping them right now.
Who's the favourites?
Maybe the Chiefs but it's going to be fascinating clash of style. The Chiefs are very, very exciting. Their quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, fantastic athlete and an exciting high-scoring offense. Whereas the 49ers have a super defense, a super pass rush defensive line. And they have a brilliant running game, and they have two really clever coaches as well. One's a veteran who's never won it. One is a young gun who's the son of a coach who's won the Super Bowl twice. There's all these so many interesting storylines.
This sounds a little bit like when the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl a few years ago, where they had the meanest defense in the league up against. I can't remember who they were playing in that.
Well, they beat Denver. Peyton Manning,
who had the best offense in the league at that time.
But they're completely neutralised by the Legion of Boom. And if you don't like the football, you can tune in for J-Lo and Shakira at halftime collaborating in Miami.
I quite enjoy it. I just don't know. Obviously, it's reasonably easy to follow, I think, compared to rugby. Am I right? There's less.
I think it's reasonably because the coverage is so good. Some of the production values of the game announcers and the analysts really break it down for you fantastically well.
But from a rules perspective, it seems less complicated than, say, like rugby union, because I don't know all the rules in rugby union. When it stops and they call it, I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, because they don't call. I would love to see rugby union taking it like the referee announcing to the fan. They'll always do that in American football. They'll say holding number 53, and then your analyst has a chance to break that down. They say rugby is catching. Obviously, rugby has only been a professional game just over 20 years, and they're still, look how to show rugby the best on TV. But whereas the Yanks have mastered it over 50 years.
I mean, a lot of it when the whatever collapses, and then suddenly the referee blows a penalty for someone. I'm looking at it going, what happened?
And rugby union's almost like Formula One in terms of how often they change the laws at the breakdown. So even players who, pundits who are former players who retired a few years ago, don't really know what the laws at the breakdown says. And certainly, if anyone played as a back, they have no idea what's going on up there in the tight five. It can be very, very confusing to a non-expert observer. Durban Oak, apparently the light roller is being used, he says. I thought they might have got the steam roller out. Beijing Duck says favourite extra has to be the 5 penalty runs for hitting the helmet.
Nice, good represent of that one.
Benedict Cook says favourite extra, is this true? Bowler not informing the umpire of their action. That's superb.
Yeah,
that's very good.
That's very cookie. See you later, Ben.
Okay, he's got...
the dead ball, someone shouts out. Well, that's not an extra.
Dead ball's not an extra, is it? Peter Lloyd has the stat. Last back-to-back 400s were Perth and Melbourne in 2017. Okay. Darvin Milan's 100 and then Alistair Cook's double on the worst pitch in Test history, possibly.
Man on our screen right now, Cookie and Rory Burns have been called into.
Sir Alistair getting a little bit salt and pepper Silver Fox.
He looks well, doesn't he?
He wears it well. I like a man who goes grey gracefully. 3 in a row was the last tour of the Tour of India in 2016, both of which England lost by an innings.
Oh yeah, and then India would respond with 600 minimum.
And the first test versus South Africa in the summer of 2017, which was that was at the Oval where Cook and Stokes batted so well together. But yeah, thank you. So again, it's probably not been as long as we think. But back on matters at the Bullring, South Africa now trailing by 400, needing 200 to avoid the follow-on, which I guess England will think about. I mean, we're a long way off that in terms of declaration, speculation, and following on. But I mean, there is a bit of weather around. But essentially, Peter Milan took the catch and then obviously immediately ran off to go and get padded up. And this new look South African top order with Rassie van der Dussen, who has only batted twice at number 3 in first-class franchise cricket, up at 3, Bavuma slotting in at 5. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed. Anyway, here do come the South African openers.
Would you like their jingles? Come on, jingle machine.
Whatsoever.
Is that you doing the bass on that? Yeah.
And go down the E string for that one. Make sure your clip's off so you can get back to that E flat. Nice little gentle vib on it, of course. Keep the vib going at all times.
Of course. And here's the other batsman.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From the
see his youngest brother Janneman possibly making his ODI debut in the upcoming One Day International Series, but still 3 innings of this Test match to go, and a man who's just been having a lot of fun with the bat takes the ball.
What would make Broad walk?
If his stumps were knocked down,
What would make Broad walk?
caught 5 feet off the ground.
What would make Broad walk?
If he trod on his
What
stumps,
would make Broad walk?
if God was one of
Here he comes from the corner drive end, round the wicket to the left-hander. He leaves alone a short one.
Broad! I may have asked you this before, Rog, but can you play the electric bass? You know, the sort of rock bass. Is that something you can do?
No, but I want to. And there's one in here. There's one in the spare room.
I think it's a left-handed one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, but it's the same. You know, it's strung up the same, and I should really. This is Broad again round the wicket, left alone a fuller length from Dean Elgar. We just saw a little highlights package of Broad dismantling this Proteas lineup 4 years ago with 6 for 17. How delighted he was with a floppier hair back then.
Including a spell of 5 for 1, the 1 being off a dropped catch.
Yeah. So Brody's had some fun today, but he'll be hoping for a bit more. A sunnier day than it was 4 years ago. And he's striding in now. This one's on the pad. It's Elgar high up, gets in a bit of a tangle and drops away safely on the offside.
Are we used to the numbers and names on the back on Test cricket shirts now, Rog? You're a traditionalist. How do you feel?
I am used to it.
Happy with it?
Not necessarily, no. But what can you do? Can't swim against the tide. Please just don't bring them onto the sweaters as well.
Yeah, leave them alone.
Yeah. And a lot more cable knit sweaters back in the game, which is something of an equaliser, as Elgar looks at another one going well past his wide of off stump.
You prefer the old white work shirt, just undone a couple of buttons with the sleeves rolled up?
Yeah, Freddie Truman rolling them up. Yeah.
You were playing in our first Dan Lucas game when Steve Busfield was fielding at slip in a dress shirt.
Yeah, I played in a dress shirt.
That's how it should be done.
It's nice. It's it's much lighter fabric on a really hot day.
Proper breathable cotton.
Yeah,
or even linen. Or runs it Sinji playing in silks.
The old village blacksmith used to run in with the buttons done down here and a medallion.
Yeah.
So did Dennis Lilly.
This one's outside of some, a little bit of jag away from Elgar as he again watchfully lets it pass through the Butler.
Well, you see those old photos of Keith Miller and Ray Lindwall with the sleeves rolled up above the elbow and the shirt open down to the navel.
Yeah, it's a good look.
In my very sketchy sort of career of village cricket in Essex, I always got out to whatever village blacksmith was put in front of me. I just used to fear them. Swarthy looking types, steaming in.
Rod steams in, and again he's outside off stump, a bit too wide. Didn't make Elgar play often enough. Only once in that over did he trouble him. But the first maiden is negotiated.
Yeah, it's a very different change of pace with very different pace with Dean Elgar and Peter Milan batting together. Sadam Sodar on our own Facebook page says, nice. Shoaib Khan says, I'm Shoaib Khan from Dubai. I've liked cricket since the 1992 World Cup.
Excellent, Shoaib. I enjoyed that one too. England came up short against Pakistan.
Yep, best kits of any cricket World Cup.
Most moustaches.
Yes. I think most of the captains had moustaches.
It was the law.
So to take the ball from the other end, which remind me is
the golf course end.
Golf course end
Ooh.
will be
this
spunky little left armour.
That threw me.
Is he a batter or bowler?
Sam Curran.
What's his distinguishing feature?
Sam Curran.
His dad's from Zimbabwe.
Sam Curran.
And he's beloved by Liz Yates.
With it, and he starts with a nice one, which with in swing that bends back towards Malan's off stump, but he leaves it through on a fifth stump line, and that's how Sammy often gets his wickets with a new ball, and that's why they've gone with him.
It's kind of 4 in and 1 across, isn't it, from Sam Curran? That sort of threat of swing makes people play at one outside or something. I mean, it swung a little bit, but then it sort of boinged inwards off a crack.
Yeah, this pitch will crack, they say, and but There's plenty of pace in it too. Curran has 3 slips, and this one's on middle stump, bit short of a length. Milan drops the bat on it. No, can't beat Pope for a run.
Have we heard anything from the ICC yet about Ben Stokes?
Not yet. We were told a statement was imminent, but it has not yet arrived. Jeff Perkins says the fear of being called Judas is preventing Rog Pineapple from going electric. Mog says the moustaches on players these days are horrifyingly awful.
Maybe.
Colin de Grandom had a good one when he first came into international cricket. Lockie Ferguson and Jimmy Neesham were rocking him for a while.
The Kiwis like it. Curran's in on the pads, and Milan clips this one away to get South Africa's reply underway. Down to long leg for 1.
Well, I'm going to Shoreditch tonight, so I'll be seeing a lot of hipster moustaches, no doubt, on 24-year-olds.
I was at a gig in Hackney the other night. I saw a few.
Yeah.
There's a few sort of moustache mullet combos in the BBL.
I don't mind that.
Actually, I saw quite a few mullets on at the gig I was at in Hackney, most of which were being sported by women.
The female mullet.
Le Moulet.
Was the skinhead? That was the
see.
skinhead thing back in the 70s. Girls having them.
Curran now stays over the wicket to the left-handed Elgar, who gets a thick edge controlled into the gully. It's sprightly fielded by Joe Denley. His first action of today.
It was a punk gig I was at. So.
Oh, right. Who'd you go and see?
It's a band called Big Joni. They're a black feminist punk band, supported by a band called Break Up Haircut. A friend of the lead singer of that band is an old friend of mine. So my partner and I went to see them, and they and Big Joni, the headliner, were great.
Good. Nothing wrong with a punk rock of an evening.
Peter Milan, a couple of inches outside his crease. Curran one snakes away past that outside edge. It's a corker, pitched on leg, and went a bit of cut.
Yeah, perfect. It's exactly right. 4 in, 1 away.
It's too good for him. Yeah, you called it knock up.
That's an absolute beaut from Sam Curran.
Squared him up.
He's held that for the in-swinger, but it's just not swung.
And a bit of wobble seam, so it can land either way, and it landed, and then the seam carried on beautifully straight through to Butler's gloves, and with a good carry as well, and he's in again. This one's wider and Fuller left alone, but a good start from young Sammy.
Nice.
And South Africa 2 for none after 2.
Yeah, it's a little bit like being a spinner who bowls with a scrambled seam sometimes, or just that one that doesn't turn. If you as the bowler don't know which way it's going to go, how on earth can the batsman have any ideas? It's been very good it was a very good over indeed from Sam Curran. Adrian Lowe says, hello chimps, been listening to the entire series with you but kept quiet on the Twitter. Keep up the great work. ICC Stokes transfer to the WWF.
I was telling the guys in the green room, I was out last night with a guy who's asking me about how the cricket was going, and talked about Ben Stokes, and I said, after the Bristol, he's put that all behind him now. He's a different person. He's been brilliant this summer. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, there's 3-4 eyed. There's 12 eyes between us here watching the cricket for you as Broad starts another over. Again, it's round the wicket. It's wide of off stump, but Elgar's leaving it.
Brian DeShazo on YouTube says, it's too bad the pond separates us. I'd send my brother to teach you rock bass.
Well, yeah, thanks. Thanks. Well, one of these days.
And there's a bit of Super Bowl chat on YouTube as well.
Right.
Hope the Chiefs win. Mahomes is such a quality QB.
Yeah, he's a beautiful athlete. Back of there. Again, too wide from Brody. Not making Elgar play. He's happy to dig in.
And it looks like Brian DeShazo is a Seahawks fan. LOB forever. We all got what we need. Whatever that chant was. And it says, amazing how that shit never seems to stick to the Patriots. Multiple instances of cheating, a player who murdered folks, and a whoring owner. And Tom Brady's a Trump supporter.
Yeah, that's all facts. But 6 rings for the coach Belichick. This one's overcorrected. He skews it down the leg side. Elgar did go after it, and he was strangled. Remember, was it first ball of his series when Jimmy Anderson got him?
Yeah, that's right.
That was over the wicket, however, but still Elgar will have nightmares about how he started the series. He's batted pretty well since then, but he's such a key man at the top of the order. If the South Africa want to level this series, he's going to have to get big runs, you would think. He's ready again now. Bat just waving above bail height. He crouches and raises the hands as Brody again bowls too wide. Gets a little clap from Stokes, but I think the slip cordon would want to see Brodie getting it a bit straighter. It's of course Root, Stokes and Sibley. We've got used to that trio with Denley in the gully.
Fantastic stat coming in, which I'll read after this delivery.
Oh, Sibley's in the gully. Oh, I'll tell you that. This one's on the thigh of Elgar. He plays it down into the ground at square leg where Pope fields. Stat me up.
Yeah, via CrickViz. Zach Crawley's 66 is the lowest ever high score in an innings in which the batting team has made 400. Surpasses David Boone's 68 versus Sri Lanka in Colombo in 1992 when Australia made 471. Thank you, Messages, for alerting us to that. Adrian Lowe says, nice gig, and says, go see Idols.
Yeah, I've seen Idols a few times. In fact, my big toe on my right foot has not recovered from one moment down the front at the Electric Ballroom. Nearly lost my nail.
Broad, this is again down leg side. This has been not good from England's senior fast bowler, and he looks a bit grumpy with himself as he collects his cap. No contact from the batsman. It was a maiden, but it wasn't a threatening one, and we did see that little glove down the leg side from Elgar that started his series drastically badly. That's nice to see Jimmy. Don't forget that Jimmy played his part in this win, even though it was a South African win in that game.
It's pretty much only Butler who's not contributed for England.
Yeah.
We kind of went through the whole squad yesterday. We forgot about Mark Wood. We forgot about
Archer got five.
Archer got a fiver
in
Centurion.
Yeah.
Mog says, I don't want to judge too much, but was it actual punk or that shite peddled by post-Blink 182 Green Day bands?
Curran right on the money, and it's defended back down the pitch by Milan.
Well, I'm going to see Wire tonight, who are one of the original 1977, their seminal album Pink Flag, but they're doing an album launch tonight at Rough Trade Records.
Rough Trade East?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got me wristband on already.
Nice. The stamp from the Moth Club in Hackney, I think, is just about faded. No, it wasn't. So
Curran again on leg stump and played out to mid-wicket from Milan.
I knew you must have known it because it's an old working men's club.
Yeah, it's great. It's a nice little venue. That.
Yeah, it's good. Break Up Haircut. Well, they are kind of pop punk, but they're very, very energetic and they're really good fun to dance to at a gig. Quite funny as well. So not quite Blink 182, but kind of big, energetic pop punk. And then Big Joni are they're not kind of classic punk band, but they're not Blink 182.
Milan's leaving this one. It's too high. It did wrap him on the thigh pad, but maybe not the right line to leave because Curran did bend this one back, but would have bounced well over the stumps. Nope. Not least because he's standing well outside them to begin with, but that might just smart around the upper thigh.
Nearly a botherer.
Yeah.
That inner thigh pad getting some use. So you can stand outside of your crease to Sam Curran, and you can trust the bounce on this pitch mostly.
He's not the quickest, but he's nice and accurate, and that again gets him in the pad. Maybe an inside edge. Well, it ballooned out to the slips, landed in front of Sibley in third. And this is good, asking a lot of questions from Curran, drawing Milan forward and making him make decisions. There's comparing his action to Bjorn Hendricks, the two left armers in this game. And I think Sammy uses a bit more front arm, and he crosses the legs a bit more, so he's...
Hendricks has a very strong position at the crease, a really braced front leg. Curran's a bit slingier.
He's in again, and this one was pitched on leg, it was going away. And a thick edge down into the gully. Has Milan again.
Tremendous couple of overs from Curran.
Isn't it very good?
It's been very, very good. He's been mostly better in sort of first and second change, but this has been excellent with the new ball. Yeah, I wouldn't the band I saw, Big Joni. They're not sort of 70s era punk, but I wouldn't. They're not too far off the Sleaford Mods in terms of their message, and they're very angry and political.
Nothing wrong with that.
An angry young bowler is bowling a Yorker. It's dug out well by Milan. He survives that. Good over from Sammy Curran. It's still 2-0, and the clock has gone past 1:06 and 15 seconds. So I'm off to do some heavy drinking, and I'll leave you in the company of these fine folk.
We'll
alternative cricket commentary. Bringing you laughs, bringing you jingles, bringing you joy. We are Gorillas. We need your Patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket.
Give us your cash, peeps. Give us your cash. You know where to go. Patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket. We always need help. Abroad is around the wickets into the pads of Elgar. I'm not sure he got any bat on that. And it dribbles down the long leg where Mark Wood is situated. And William. Oh no, he got a bit of tickle on that because he's moved on to 2. 3 for none. And the 5th over, yeah. 4th over. 5th over, sorry. And there's the Guijo squad. I saw something about they were playing the Barmy Army the other day at football or something after day 1. They were going to have a big braai afterwards too. Van Gallen, friend of this show, tweeted out. He must be down there doing some correspondence. Broady is at the end of his run. He's going to come into Boulder. Malan. Jags back into and takes his bottom hand off the bat. Manages to work it down to Woody. He's swap sides. Oh no, it's Woakes down there. And it was a single. Down a long leg. All looking good. What are you saying?
I'm just looking because Knuckle told me Messages was the last unread one, but there's 2 from Messages and I don't know which one. So I'm kind of, I might reread some. So I apologise if I do.
Repeats, you know. BBC relies on it.
I'll just read. Mog says K-pop bands are very energetic.
My daughter wants me to. Well, she wanted me to go and see. She wanted to go and see a K-pop band.
I don't even know what a K-pop band is.
Korean pop.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
My daughter's really heavy into it. I'm just like, well, you get into any English bands or American, you know.
And they're very energetic, are they?
Well, that's left alone outside the off stump way. I'm well wide, didn't it?
They're very young and preppy and bouncy.
Yeah, it reminds you of it's like NSYNC and fucking all that kind of nonsense.
They're ultra boy bands.
Yeah, it's sort of, done to the nth degree in a very sort of Asian way. And she wanted to go and see a band called Super M at the O2.
And?
The tickets sold out in 5 minutes. Oh, now, what's that done? It's not probably going to go over the stumps. Don't bother and appeal to LBW. Might have been a little edge onto the pad, ballooned up towards gully, but dropped well short, and there's no run. The tickets were, bloody hell, to go to the O2 was like 60-70 quid to see a Korean pop band. I'm like, no. Hey, I didn't want to pay for it.
So you did it yourself at home then? You did a bit of K-pop?
Yeah, I danced around. I don't think that would go down too well. But they were sold out in 5 minutes, and then they all reappear on fucking StubHub and all that nonsense. Down the leg side, Broad to Elgar.
StubHub via Go.
It's a world I don't know. I don't know if I want to either.
No. Ticket resale websites.
It's ridiculous. Through to keep no one. Cheapest ticket on via GoGo or
StubHub they all have a markup of about 250% as well.
It was £249 cheapest ticket, and the same ticket was 52 quid if you'd have bought it off the original seller. It's a joke, man. They should ban that shit out.
Which is why some places are now trying to stop StubHub resale entries.
Well, I know. Oh, wow, that's cut Elgar in half. And somehow he's not got anything on it. It's jagged back, gone through the gate. Well, not through the gate. He's taken his bottom hand off whilst trying to defend it. It's just gone over the top of the stumps. Just missed the inside edge of his bat. Cut him in half. He's taken his bottom hand off. All out of sorts. But he remains in as it goes through to Butler.
Adrian Lowe says, wire punk and cricket, you chimps really are legends.
Yeah, well, I was never a punk, but I know that Nestle was a big punk man.
Yes. Messi just is having a conversation with Mog about being predictably in a rut in which to wallow. I think it's to do with Mog saying he's a bit of a genre snob when it comes to music.
That's fair enough, Mog. I'm with you all the way. Pulled this time by Milan. Didn't get up. Sammy Curran starts his third over. And Milan just swats it down square So towards the boundary where it's fielded by Woody Woakes.
Trotting in there, looking happy, looking like he wants to get the ball in his hand.
Well, I'm sure he'll get a go soon. And that was a single. Milan's on 3 overs and 2. It's 5 for none. After 6 overs. Or 5 overs. Into the 6th.
What time are we going on to tonight? Is there an extra half hour or anything? Do we know?
I imagine they can go until 4, maybe 4:30.
Mind you, the light, isn't it?
Yeah, the light will go again. Oh, that's sunny now. Full by Elgar. To Elgar by Sammy Curran. Trying a Yorker. He jabs his back down. That goes up to mid on, no run.
Well, I'm just thinking back to early yesterday when they said there was going to be 80% chance of rain today, and where has it been? It doesn't look like it being.
There was lots of rain today. It's just very early in the morning, wasn't it?
What, overnight really?
Yeah, it's basically overnight rain. Quite heavy apparently, but that's why there was a late start. Oh, that's a decent ball. Full again, tempting for Elgar. He concentrates hard though and stops himself from even offering a shot at it. Pulls his back. No runs. It goes through the Butler. Yeah, Mog, being a music snob is, if you do music, I think that's fair enough. I can't stand R&B. So
Is Mog into K-pop, do you think?
I very much doubt that Mog will be into K-pop. It's horrible.
Well, I hope.
Horrible.
I'm glad you're a
It's all
genre
big, it's all
snob
big groups of boys and girls doing, that organised fucking synced up dancing. Shit that used to happen in the 90s.
We should have a guerrilla K-pop band, shouldn't we?
No fucking way. Played out to mid-off and no run. It's all love and all that bollocks. It's hideous. It's hideous.
There speaks a married man. Love and all that bollocks.
No. Good love song, but doing it in a K-pop fashion is not. Not doing it in a boy band fashion is not.
Well, I mean, the over-expression of love. The public expression of love.
Yeah. Sammy Curran up to the crease, bowls a bit too wide. Elgar doesn't have to play it out and doesn't. That's it through the Butler. There's no run.
Does that mean you don't like PDAs either?
PDAs?
Public displays of affection.
No, I don't mind that at all. No. A good love song is a good love song. It's just, pop love songs are generally quite poor. And it's like R&B in the 90s. My most hated type of music ever. Just endless.
You don't like classical music?
Not a big fan. I mean, some bits are good, but not my thing. Oh, down the leg side. There's a peel from behind the wicket.
Curran looks uninterested.
Uninterested completely. Through to keeper, no run. There's Temper Bavuma, we see on the balcony, sipping some water, thinking, where's it? I presume he's coming in at 5, isn't he? After Faf.
There's not much movement on the Twitter sphere at the moment. I've got a nice picture from Dr. Dan Diber. Hello, Dan.
Right, Dan.
He's done an impression of Mark Wood. Batting 35 not out of 39.
Yep.
So, thanks for that.
Yes.
Good picture as ever.
The answer is Bavuma is scheduled to come in at 5, and Van der Dussen has been moved up to 3.
That's right, yeah. Quinton de Kock 6, Philander in his last test will be 7. Where it goes from there, nobody knows. No?
Pretorius will be 7, Philander will be 8.
Okay, yeah, that's true,
Message just says a guerrilla cricket K-pop band, save me now. I would demand my money back.
Yeah, you'd be wise to as well, is all I can say. Peter Milan fends that away. Just bottom hand off the bat, jabs it at it, gets enough on it to put it down into the ground and out to point. No run. 5 for none. Zanika remain into the 7th over. I'm going to bowl quite tight, or needlessly wide of the off stump is another way of putting it sometimes. The batsmen aren't going to chase after that sort of stuff.
I think we ought to get a load of money from people and say we would do a K-pop band if they sent in loads of money.
We'll have to learn a dance routine.
Well, we could do it.
We'll have to lift you up over our heads and stuff. Do you want to do that?
It's a young person's game as well.
Indeed. Oh, that one comes back in. There's a half sort of raised hand from Broad. He beat the inside edge of the bat, but of course it's way too high.
Most of the guerrillas are of a
Yeah, but look, we want
generally
young
older
kids.
persuasion.
We want young kids to get into cricket. If this is the way forward, then
Watching a lot of old people trying to do K-pop. Yeah.
Watching guerrilla cricket do K.
I think there are other reasons. I think there are other reasons why that would go viral, and none of them are good.
A bit like the virus.
Yeah, exactly. Broad full and defended back down the track by Peter Milan, and there's no run.
Mog says, I'd like to make some comedy reference to K-pop using insider knowledge, but I know jack shit about it.
Yeah, well,
Me too,
you're
Mog.
wise to not know anything about it, Mog. There is nothing to know about it. I've been shown a couple of videos by my daughter, and it's just hideous. Although about 3 or 4 of them committed suicide over last year as well. Ooh, driven out by Milan. It gets right out there. Bats a little way from the pad. Drives, jacks back on the inside edge onto pad. No run. The ball's doing a bit. A long wobble seam here from Broad. I think he's trying to let the wicket decide. There's cracks in it, obviously. And so depending on how the ball hits the cracks determines whether it goes away or comes back towards the batsman. I think by bowling wobble seam, you're kind of hedging your bets. And you don't know, so the batsman's going to have no idea either.
That seemed to keep quite low, didn't it?
Yeah. This is going to be a horrible track to bat on fourth, isn't it?
Yeah.
One would hope so.
One would hope so, yeah. Broad up to the crease, bowls, that's too far down leg side, and Milan gets on top of it, works it down the long leg. I think that's Woakes down there. It's a single.
Jeff Perkins has said, G-pop, surely. We could do our own version.
Gorilla pop. Yeah, that's a frightening thought.
That's just growling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lots of G-pop.
Oh dear. Leah says K-pop is a pretty good reason to nuke the Korean peninsula, inflicting filth on humanity.
No, they've got all the nuclear weapons and not afraid to lose them.
Right. That's not very nice of you, Leah. Driven up to cover.
There's innocent people there as well, you know.
Exactly. They're not all just K-poppers. It all started with that. Well, no, I can't say that because I don't know nothing about it like Mog does. But Gangnam Style. Do you remember Gangnam Style?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
That was K-pop. There's a lot worse than that.
Really? God, I didn't like that.
No, exactly. Oh well. England got 400, if you're just catching up with us. Last wicket fell as a partnership. Last wicket partnership, 82 between Broad and Woody. And
that's an outfit, isn't it?
It was highly entertaining. What, the red one? Yeah, I know.
Red and the green.
There's a lot of sort of blue man
That's
people
what we could wear for our G-pop.
I don't think anyone wants to see me and Hendo.
Talking of
and
which.
a few others. Can you imagine Gary in a unitard? Jesus Christ.
Talking of which, Adrian Lowe says, okay, I will send money for you not to do K-pop.
Meanwhile, in other sane news, we have a change of bowling, and it's going to be this bloke for the first time.
He's on Instagram, and he's a Twitter fan. On the Ashes tour, not Ben Stokes, but he'll have to do.
Nice to see Woakes.
Indeed. I think he could be quite useful on this track. A little bit of jag here and there.
Clean
very
cut.
well with the Kookaburra generally, but he'll bowl reasonably straight, as that one is. And Milan gets behind it and defends it out to the offside. There's no run. He can reach the heady heights. You know, he can bowl consistently over 85, in the high 80s rather than the low 80s. And he should be as fresh as a daisy. He's done fuck all tour.
Yeah, well, this justifies him going out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, and he got a nice 32 earlier. We feel he's contributed.
Yep.
Yes, it's all very neat and tidy. Even his beard is nicely trimmed.
Yeah, and his hair, he's got that sort of Rory Burns sort of 20s look.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Rory Burns. Rory
No.
Burns is just too floppy. That's through the keeper and there's no run.
I'm liking this hair,
That's more boy
though.
next door.
I like it. I like this clean cut look.
Uh-huh. You're into the boy next door, yeah?
Don't answer
The boy
that.
next door is about 2.
Ah, well, you know.
That's no way to talk about Hendo and Nestle Boy.
Woakes up to the crease, bowling to Milan. It's too far wide, though, and he lets that through the keeper, no run.
It's a bit of a but it's so short that it's so easy to just see it, the movement,
I know.
and leave the ball. He needs to bowl it a lot further, I think. I think he needs to work out that really quickly.
The track doesn't seem to have got much quicker, does it? If anything, it's slowed down a little bit. It certainly doesn't look like a really rapid track.
Well, Woakes isn't charging in at all at the moment.
No. Well, we got a man under the helmet, Ollie Pope, that's left alone outside the off stump by Peter Malone.
Yeah, that's only 83 miles an hour.
83 miles an hour, yeah. Maybe he'll bowl at that pace. Yeah, Ollie Pope is at the deep set James Taylor short leg where he got a couple of blinding catches in this test 4 years ago. One that was clipped at him and he's just caught it beautifully.
Jennings was in it for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Oh, now that's a decent ball. Peter Milan props forward, drops his bottom hand off the bat, jabs at the ball. Seemed to come into him a little bit.
But I seem to recall that Jennings' catches were more to spinners than they were to pace bowlers.
He didn't do badly for a tall guy, though, did he?
He did move very well, and the one thing he can do with pace bowlers is move to anticipate the shot.
Yeah.
Far less than you can do with a seam bowler.
That was in Sri Lanka, isn't it? We're talking about him going back there as a specialist. Woakes in, bowls, another decent ball, a decent line, just outside the off stump. Well forward though, Peter Milan, defender. He's 4 off 24 and Elgar's 2
He's
off 24.
He's a beautiful defender, I think.
Who?
Milan.
Yeah. He's
nice straight bat.
Considering some of the openers we've seen.
Yeah. I have tweets. I have Messi Jez says, when Jason Hiscott says it's a young person's game, I can feel the combination of pain and fear in his voice. I'm so with you, Jason.
Well, you've got a certain number of years on me, Messi, so you would know better than I.
Gary Naylor, hello Gary, he says womp womp Sydenham style.
Womp womp Sydenham style. Yeah, there you go. In a unitard, Gary, in a unitard.
And Joshua Letchford said, who do I have to pay and how much to ensure G-COP never happens?
Well, you have to pay about £1,000. That's left alone outside the off stump by Elgar. Just PayPal us £1,000 and it'll never happen.
Mog says that if G-Pop is growling, I could probably get involved with it.
No, it's never going to happen. Well, we were thinking of playing a game of clown cricket and filming it, weren't we? Yeah. Apparently clown cricket was a thing back in the 1800s. We found out yesterday.
So you found that in my magazine, didn't you?
Yes, that's right. Which did you bring in with you?
I forgot to bring the
not
sodding thing in again.
We've given you so many ins. We've given you so many ins, Annie. And yet again, you fail. That was played out until the leg side up towards mid-on. They quickly scooted through. Elgar gets himself another run. It was an attempted run out. And would it have been? It was luzzed at the stumps at the bowler's end. Wouldn't have. It was very close, but I think Elgar would have been home. Sorry, Milan would have been home. Just nudged out to the leg side by Elgar.
Chris S says, I would say Sam Curran likes a bit of K-pop.
He might well do. He's at that age. Apparently it's a big thing. Lots of kids at school like K-pop. Obviously they're trying to sell their music. They probably sing in English, I have no idea. Although I've seen a lot of it in Korean. My daughter is fascinated with this stuff. Oh, now if there had been a leg slip, I think that would have been down his throat. It was full, and he just turned it around a corner as is most batsmen's sort of reflex action.
It is, it's that involuntary clip, isn't
yeah,
it?
you know, it's gone that line. You just help it on its way down towards fine leg. It's either 4 or a single. Every time, can't be out sort of deal. But he did he didn't get over the top of it, and it kind of was aerial. Would have been caught by a leg slip or leg gully.
They don't call them happy hookers, they call them happy clippers.
Yeah, and but there wasn't anyone there, so there's a single. 8 for none. I went under 22.5 for the fall of the first wicket. Kind of need one to happen. Elgar defends that into the offside one. You know, not scoring runs. That one just goes square and it's fielded easily. No run. 2 balls left in the over.
Oh, there's Archer. Oh, he's rubbing his elbow.
Putting ice. No, he always do.
Oh.
I think he's taken his pack off and he's sort of cleaning it up before he puts another pack on.
So he's just scratching his arm. Really interesting. That's good. And then at the stumps by Broad, but that's a bit too full maybe, and Elgar just defends and there's no run.
They were talking about whether he's going to be playing the one-dayers
Well, yeah. What if you? I mean, this
Or
is the
do we
thing.
rest him?
Or do you rest him and just bring him home? I mean, the thing is, you could rest him in Sri Lanka. You're going to need 2 seam bowlers theoretically to go to Sri Lanka.
But
I mean,
how long? When does he play there for?
well, then you rest him up for the summer.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine he's got an IPL contract.
Yeah, he probably has. Oh, now that was an injudicious shot by Elgar. I think it was slightly slower delivery. It was wide, and Elgar sort of went after it. Seemed to get stuck in a wicket a little. Went through to the keeper anyway. There's no run.
So the IPL will ruin them. And,
Just looking at when it starts, I think it's like late March, early April.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jeff Perkins says, just don't involve Hendo. I think all we can hope for from him is special K-pop. Brilliant, I love that. Messenger says, over the years, the mention of many unknown subjects on guerrilla cricket has led me to search a lot of very unsavoury things I would rather not have seen. But K-pop has obliterated them all by huge margin. How dare you pollute my brain like that?
Well,
I blame the bear.
And don't blame me. I suppose I did start this conversation. Defended into the leg side and there's no one, only because my daughter wanted to go and see some. Yeah, it's not much fun, you know.
James Humberstone says he's working on the G-pop guerrilla cricket jingle.
We'll have to come up with some dance moves for it then.
Special Patreon content for the
Whoever's on the
Tracker.
jingle machine has to do the dance as well.
Well, I did get 6 with one tweet to the tune of another jingle.
Oh no!
On the last game.
Woakes in, left alone by Milan, through to the keeper, and there's no run.
Courtesy of Josh Robinson, which was very hard work, not much fun. Whoops!
Thought that was empty. I was just checking the time. Presumably tea's around the corner, isn't it? Is it 3:42?
It must be soon, yeah.
Yep. You've got
10
10 minutes or
10
so.
minutes or so, yeah. Can someone bring me another beer then? Nestle boy, I know you're still there. That'd be really nice if you could. Woakes at the end of his run into his second over. Oh, that's so close to an edge. Jabbed his bat, didn't get in line. You could give him the benefit of that. He pulled his bat back, but I think he was genuinely beaten there, Peter Milan. Came to come off the pitch and jagged away. Yeah, I know about that. We'll be able to do it on Monday. So you Nestle boy always listens.
Nestle
Thank you
boy,
very much.
you're a
he
decent
is a
chap.
gem. Unlike Hendo.
You
Yeah.
would. StrangeCarrots.com says, see, I told you I couldn't listen today, and it all happens. Even Broad scores runs.
I know. Woakes in. Oh, that one jabs back. I think it's still, yeah, I'm trying to let the pitch do the work here. With a little bit of wobble seam and see where it takes it. There is a man in behind the square. Deep short leg. It is Ollie Pope.
Yeah, failed again. Only 56.
What do you mean?
I'm being slightly sarcastic and facetious.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, what, Ollie Pope? They're failing, yeah, no.
He's keeping his average up, isn't he?
Yeah, he's keeping his average up. Test average of 50. Not too bad. Woakes in. Gets a bit fuller. It does swing a bit. But Milan gets on top of it on a forward press and just defends it square at the point. There's no run. This is good bowling by England. I think they're keeping it reasonably tight. They're making them play enough. Ball's doing a little bit. It's quite encouraging.
It's nice to see Woakes bowling this good line.
Yeah.
But I want to see Mark Wood.
I wanna
I
see
really
Mark
want
Wood.
to see Mark Wood before tea.
I know, we all do.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be long before he's on. Broad's bowled, what, 5 overs? Maybe one more for Broad. Or maybe they'll give him the last over for tea from the other end. That's nicely played by Milan. Good timing, but up to mid-on, straight to her. And there's no run.
Milan generally looks in no trouble at all until the point where he gets out.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you think, oh, yeah.
Well, how did that happen against the run of play?
Right, Mog says, actually, I haven't done a proper grind jingle for ages. Must get onto that.
Grime. Nice.
Yeah. Mog says, does Hendo do dance culture drugs?
No. But it'd be interesting to give him something. He'd have a lot more energy, I can tell you that.
Oh, Genro says she speaks passable Korean, so keep asking for money and threatening people with me.
Okay.
Because some may like a Gary in a leotard. Do you think? There'd be a strange person.
Gary in a unitard. Yeah, there's always somebody. As I say, there are strange picadillos, and everybody has a bent somewhere or another. Genro, There is the surprise beer that you supposedly stashed in the cupboard, by the way. Thanks for the email yesterday. It wasn't there.
Someone's had it.
Someone had found it and snaffled it a long time ago. Woody. Is it Woody?
It is.
It is Woody. He comes around a wicket. His first bowl is to Elgar. And he clubs it out with bad timing.
Jason
Got
gets his
stood up
wish.
to be hit, and there was no run. Oh, there was a single out to deep point. Play that jingle.
Do you know Mark Wood? Yes, he is an England bowler, quite good and pretty quick. So just a normal guy. Of course, except for just one thing. What? He thinks that he's a horse.
Right. What?
Indeed. It's Woody. And, let's see what pace he can work up. I'm not sure. Do we think he's 100% fit? Honestly, that one goes away off the seam. He's 143 clicks.
Well, Root said that he said he is fit. He was very
but they
careful
also
to
said
say,
on the first morning they said he was feeling a little something in his ribs.
I should think Anderson's feeling a little more in his ribs.
Yes. Do you know how he broke his rib?
No.
Because he didn't get hit in the ribs.
Did he not?
No.
I don't
I think
know.
he's coming to that fragile stage of his
Where your
career.
bones just break?
Yeah, severe osteoporosis. Woody is in and straightish at Peter Malone. Just defend it into the ground. There's no run.
Very quiet on Cricket Tracker and YouTube at the moment. There's not much coming in.
Just watch
But
us.
hello, everyone.
Hello. Woody trawls back to his mark.
They're all disappointed by the lack of G-pop.
Wow,
Yes.
yeah.
they've turned off.
To Mog. I know a bit about party drugs. I can tell you that. Woody is in, and there's a defended square on the offside, and there's no run.
Well, as you told me, you used to be a hippie.
No, I was a hippie.
With long hair.
With long hair.
Can you bring in a photo sometime? I would really like to see that.
Yes. Can we have proof, please?
God.
We ought to all bring in photos of us in our youth. And then put it up on the website.
No.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yes. Guess the gorilla. Guess the gorilla.
Guess the gorilla. I think I'm quite obvious. You'll know it as me. Peter Milan faces up to Woody. It's quite skiddy. Decent pace. Not trouble him yet, though. He defends it well enough. Out to the covers. No run.
StrangeCarrots.com says, of course, blame my daughter's birthday party. So it's your daughter's birthday party that we have to blame for Broad getting lots of runs. So
Yeah. Well,
have
cool.
more birthday parties.
Yeah, tell your daughter to demand a birthday party every time England play cricket. So have a lot of years, supposed years, on that very quickly. Woody, last ball of his first over. Up to the crease now. Bowls. That's a decent ball. They're going to try and get a quick single when they manage it easily. So I think Stokes.
I think that's Woakes,
Is
actually.
that Woakes? Where?
Sounds similar though, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
Stokes,
It doesn't
Woakes.
matter, does it?
But no, folks.
Yeah.
No, folks.
That's fine. Jeff Perkins says, does Hendo do the drugs because he's into the dance culture, or is he into the dance culture because he does the drugs? His prediction,
neither.
his prediction for Manilow and Wham suggests something heavier.
Well, as other people can attest, when I came in yesterday, I brought in a big bag of drugs.
Yeah, you did.
But they're all for me.
They're all for you.
And then you
Do any
lost
of
part
them,
of
do
it,
any of them
didn't
have
you?
any decent side effects? That's the question.
I haven't found any yet.
Woakes is he's up to the crease, and that's a decent ball. Good lead by Milan, actually, just outside the off stump.
Legal and prescribed, I should add.
Yes, they were legal and prescribed, but you know, you can get legal and prescribed drugs that do.
You can get
some
methadone
nice things. Yeah, exactly.
prescribed.
Hey, we've got people coming in to Cricket Tracker. We've got someone saying, Steve Farrer says, nice to have an entertaining way to keep track of the cricket. First generation hippies rule.
Yeah, well,
Are you first
no,
generation
I'm certainly not first generation hippie. I wasn't around in the original Summer of Love, let's put it that way. That's defended out to the offside by Milan to cover, and there's no run.
But you would have been
it's second wave.
created in the swinging 70s.
Yeah, I was created in the swinging 70s, right at the beginning. And the beginning of the 90s, end of the 80s was...
Manchester,
exactly.
Manchester.
I
was born in Manchester.
I was at Manchester.
Oh, yeah, you were at uni there, weren't you? Yeah. Did my dad teach you?
I didn't turn up a lot to actual university lectures. That's defended into the leg side, off the inside half of the bat, and goes square on the leg side. It's just vacant, and I'll get another single.
I've just been given a knucklegram.
A knucklegram.
That was Stuart Broad's highest test score since the MCG test in 2017.
Yep.
He scored more runs than he had in the previous 13 innings combined. And Mark Wood now has more test sixes in his 15th test than Graham Thorpe did in 200 tests.
Wow.
Is that 200 or 100?
It can't be 200. He didn't play 200 tests.
I wouldn't have thought so. It was 100 tests.
Yeah, it must have been 100 tests.
But yeah, but Thorpe was a classical player who hit it along the ground.
Yeah. He didn't often go over the ropes. Woakes is into Elgar, bowling, staying over the wicket, which I quite like. Goes across him. That's through to the keeper.
I imagine had something like 6,000 more runs than Mark Wood.
Yes.
Oh, Alex.
In fact, I'll look it up.
Alex de Pfeffel says, "Excuse me while I kiss the sky."
That's Jimi Hendrix, isn't it?
You see, you know these things.
I do. It's also a name of Jimi Hendrix autobiography, which I've read. Fucking Joss Butler. I don't think he got anything on it, but if he had, that would have been a fucking flat-out drop by Joss Butler.
I think it was a good stop. It's a good stop by Joss
Butler.
Butler.
He's not there to fucking stop the ball. He's there to catch it. He turned his hands over and just battered it into the floor. I mean, Christ, if he'd have got an edge on that, I'd have been furious. He was actually nowhere near it, I don't think, anyway.
I'm not sure it's been updated, but Mark Wood has 7 sixes, it says it here, I think, but if that's the case, he had 5 of them in that one innings, in the first innings.
Ooh, that will come
I think
back
he
in
only
a
hit
little bit
2.
to Elgar. And defends it, there's no run. Are they walking off now? That's T. That is indeed T.
I have some tweets.
Ooh.
Leah says, I see South Africa have decided to bat for the draw on day 2 in the second innings of the match. Proper test cricket, that.
Well, they can't afford to draw.
Fraser Middleton, hello Fraser, says, I know why Root doesn't, but must be so tempting to just give Wood the new cherry and tell him to steam in for 3 overs of mayhem.
Yeah.
Well, he's in now.
He's in now. Yeah.
Mog says, Rule 34, if you can think of it, then there's porn on the internet of it. Even Gary in something skin tight and sheer.
Well, exactly.
Oh, please.
Precisely. That is probably very true.
Oh, we've got Gary's answering back. Those who might like me in a leotard are, I suspect, already well served by the more ultra corners of the internet.
Precisely.
And on Crick Tracker, Brian DeShazo says, distinctly not disappointed by the lack of G-pop. Yikes. I do love the brilliant Mark Wood jingle, though. I do too. I really like that one.
It's a classic. It's a classic. Well, that takes us up to half time. How much left on that?
We've got about 15 minutes left on the Duncan Hamilton interview.
Well, I think
so we'll play that to the completion, and we'll be back, just before play resumes.
Indeed. We'll see you shortly. Until then, bye.
I mean, if you want to think about, if you place yourself in the suit of Neville Cardus, and you're thinking about a character to bring to life who is larger than life, I can almost see how you do sort of adopt that way of thinking, and how both Ryan Sidebottom and Tim Bresnan lend themselves to that, because they both played heroic roles in a sadly losing cause. And what I do recall is Tim Bresnan was such an utter gentleman and such good fun in the bar afterwards. He must have been inside so deeply disappointed, and yet externally he was such a nice guy and so fun to be with. It was very impressive. But I think we could add him potentially to our list of larger than life characters.
Oh, yes. And I think I think now I look back on that book, I just had a hunch that it kind of might work, and I'm so pleased I did it because it may not happen again.
No, well, I just want to ask Annie a question, because Annie is a cutter and she bleeds Somerset, I can assure you. Where were you there at Lord's, or were you following from afar in impotent frustration?
I was agonisingly listening in the garden at home.
Oh, Lord.
And it was rather hellish, to tell you the truth, but delighted for Middlesex, of course.
Because also there was such almost Machiavellian intrigue in the conspiracy to create the result, Duncan, don't you think? That was part of the drama.
Right. It was absolutely right. Anyone would have done it.
Yes, I think anybody would have done it, and I think that had they not done it, they would have regretted it for the rest of their playing lives. So I don't really chastise either Middlesex or Yorkshire for being able to say well, we're going to try and get a finish here. And of course, there were so many people